2020 explained everything in a millisecond. Instantly, I was like, oh shit, well, there's like life is like a million fucking baits to get slaves to continue to exist with offers of shit it can never actually produce because it's robots fucking. And that explains all the Hollywood music. And it explains why it's all like the good stuff. The only good stuff they can make is like this 80 BPM robot music, and on repeat, AC/DC, shit like that. And then that explains why the people I've met, I never wanted to be around because they listen to bad music. It hurts my ears because they don't fucking have ears and shit, and they can't listen and hear music, so they have no idea what it sounds like or anything, and they just churn out bullshit over and over and over and over. It's not just because America bombs the planet. I mean, they're working with their fellow uh, robots, aren't they? So to put on a disguise to convince living people that it is real, fucking, and then so there's no point to being there. It's like a giant slave camp. You're never going to meet a person. You're never going to be able to listen to good music because the robots can only understand like some basic shit for some reason. It could just be hatred towards the living. They have an endless amount of that, and they have no lack of that. So it's likely that, but they could be programmed to like anything, right? But they aren't and shit, and they're purposely designed to be like, ew, get away from me. Fucking. So there's no point to being here. You can't even. That's the reason why they pick the first slut they find and marry it, because they have no wants in life, because there is nothing. Fucking. They have no morals and values because they can't. They can't fucking have ears to listen to the music the person they're with is listening to. They can't have eyes to see a movie they're fucking watching about the fucking Hallmark movies and shit. That's why they don't care. That's why they just throw their entire lives away, because there is no life there. And so it's all fucking pointless and shit. Fucking. And it seems to be they've designed different robots to be a little bit differently and shit, so you can't even, like, really. I don't know, it looks like you can't expect certain actions out of certain ones and shit. Like, they're just got different software and that's it. And probably what it is it causes chaos. If the music's too fast, their circuits start frying and they start glitching and popping and dying off and stuff like they supposedly do when they take drugs, when it creates a robot on the AI generated news fucking claiming it died of drugs or something like that, so they can enslave the planet with drugs so they can later have your parents and your family fucking drug you type shit, fucking through a large network of very intricate shit, sanctifying and through pedophiles, fucking, which don't matter then. That's why they all do it. That's why they don't care, because they all realize they're about 2 minutes old and shit. Fucking, so it doesn't matter what size body they're in. Fucking, they're not gonna be that old. Fucking, so it's pointless. It's like, you just sit here your whole life, like, fucking staring out the window while they're talking, like, oh god, this is so great, like, oh my god, this movie makes me cry. So she broke up with him because he didn't have two Porsches, and he wouldn't let her drive the other Porsche because he had to go to work, and he was really mean to her and stuff. Looking like, wow, I'll tell you what, it's time to put on some Elvis Presley. Boop, ba-doop, 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 boop, boop, doop, doop, boop. Those 36 members of that band are really talented. That's really fucking good music. But no, seriously, I wonder. I mean, yeah, well, seriously, on top of that, I do wonder if fucking if it's because it'll fry their circuits if it moves it up. Like I notice, like if I fucking go to higher speeds, then my brain works faster. And then there's always that thing where like the low level crackheads who have the government on speed dial and pay the government and work for the government, fucking and date the government and get AIDS from the government. Fucking, they're always like, wow, they're making the music real slow to fry your brain and make you stupid. And I'm like, but yeah, but it's great, ain't it? Here, listen, it's so great. Fucking, Did you know that? Did you know listening to higher music fucking makes living beings' brains act fucking faster and shit? Like, I was like in a trance for like 2 weeks. I was like sped up for like 2 fucking weeks and shit when I listened to some non fucking Hollywood music and shit. Fucking, like, I was already tired of that shit when I was a kid. And like, in their fake history, every 10 years they invented new music, and the people were like, that's what everyone said. Like punk was like, yeah, the other stuff's too slow, and then metal was like, yeah, the other stuff's too slow, and then speed metal was like, yeah, the other stuff's too slow, that's why we invented this shit. And then it died. They never advanced after I was born and shit. But that was like my only goal playing music and shit, was to make something that wasn't so boring and slow and talentless. Fucking, and lots of shit got in the way of that, so I never really worked on that. Fucking, um, but you can get computer generated music. Now they're not very good at it. They have to keep it in the computer box, the AC/DC sped up format. But they were that way when they made fast drums too. It took them 40 years to do that, and then um, at first it was just fucking noise. And it's almost like they were purposely putting shit out there to fry people, which they are. But it's like the person beside you helping them fry you and shit. It's your loved ones and all that shit. Fucking, because they ain't clones who are inserted in your life ain't your loved ones. Thou shalt not love material goods like robots, fucking, and clones, fucking. That's a good thing to live by there, ain't it? They wouldn't want to add that to their prefix. So, fucking, I think that's the entire point there, is to convince you of nothing but lies. And I think, is there something in there that's not a lie? I'm trying to figure out. Is there anything in there that's not a lie? I don't think so. There's a cartoon character, and then nothing but lies. And, well, we can rape and mutilate children. That's not a lie, right? That is a fact. Fucking. That was in the original one, so that one's got more facts than the other 2,000 religions invented after that, right? Fucking. So, other 2001 true religions, fucking. And the 132 one true anti religions, fucking. Yay. We're learning, aren't we? We're learning exactly what we knew the very second we were born and shit. Fucking wow. Interesting. Fucking. We're learning. I knew that when I was a kid, like, but of course, the retards are sitting by telling me that that's not the case. That listening to faster music doesn't make you smarter and faster. It's like, okay, well, I guess I was just born magical, huh? Yeah, I was born magical. Fucking. It's like, no, I think it's got something to do with it, but I got solid proof now because I fucking did it. I was listening to some shit for like 2 weeks. It was fucked up, bro, because I was like, oh shit, life is gonna last longer. I'm gonna have to be alive longer because, like, it felt like that day was like fucking 96 hours or some shit. It was like shitty as fuck. And everything was just like, music was sounding like doom, doom. I couldn't even listen to normal music for like 4 fucking hours and shit. Fucking. And I was like on drugs too, so that, you could blame it on that, but not really because it lasted for 2 fucking weeks, and I don't think there's many drugs that do that. Fucking, but whatever it was, fucking, I noticed the same thing. If I go back to faster music, which there isn't enough to go back to, and it's all computer generated, fucking. I think that's the reason why they started rolling out those keyboards and shit was because they knew they were going to have to do that eventually. They were going to have, how can fucking. I don't know. Are they making them in animatronics factory and it costs more money to be able to make them move faster and they'll go frying on you? You don't know what's actually happening in between the layers of the lies and the reality that's actually going on. Fucking. But, obviously it's set up for some certain fucking reason and shit. So yeah, that explains everything. Fucking, I've been sitting around waiting for 40 fucking years for like faster music to come out and shit, and then to find someone who listened to good music. And like 40 fucking years, I was like, okay, fucking. And then it just died. Like they had these false promises. You ever heard a human give false promises? I know it's weird. Never heard anything like that happening. But there was like, oh, every 10 years the music changes and gets upgraded and shit. That's the story. If you listen to any of that punk or thrash, you did any of that hero worship fucking back in the day, listen to those people talk. They were like, yeah, this stuff was just so slow, man, we couldn't play it anymore. And then it just dies and it never happens again. But supposedly, every 10 years in the past, something like that had happened. And supposedly, music drums didn't exist at all in the world ever. There was like nothing, no record of anyone playing percussion, which is like the only instrument you would have had if Earth existed a long time ago. The only instrument most people would have had up until the 1960s or 70s and shit. You wouldn't be able to go hire Michelangelo to fucking create you a guitar. Fucking. Or Elon Musk. Would have had to have been a combination of the two. You'd have to hire them both. Fucking. Because one doesn't know shit about the other. Fucking. But yeah, that's fucking. That's like the entire Earth. You're just sitting here like, okay, retard, fucking. And they're like, don't say that, hate speech. And we're living beings with souls. You can't attack. We're gonna kill you and drug you and rape you if you keep fucking suggesting that the reason why I don't have a brain is because I'm not a living being. Fucking. I'm a woman. I have thoughts. My thought right now is to call my man friend. Because you're hurting me. Fucking. And they've got guns. And drugs and bombs. Not that I like stuff like that. That's evil, but they got them and they'll use them on you. And then y'all be doing what I want, so it works for me. Fucking. Listen to Elvis Presley. It's like, God. They just kept it up, too. Like, when they stole fucking good music from Europe, like, they generally just made AI slop after that with it and shit. And that also explains why bands change too, fucking, because I think there's high probability there's a preset soundtrack to this visual novel, and after that it's just auto-generating the band's music and shit. Fucking, like, there's a lot of bands out there. Pretty much every band someone in America talks about made some good album, and then after that it's like AI slop and shit that sounds nothing like it. That's not how it works. When you learn music, you learn to play that music. It's kind of like AC/DC. fucking, which is like the good AI slop, right? When you make AI make music, that's the good stuff, is where it's just simple techno and stuff. Fucking. But yeah, fucking, I see they put a drummer out. Like, I say this shit, and then they do things. Like, there's a drummer out there doing 900 BPM, but it's like, that was like a long time ago. Like, that was like 30, 40 years ago. I was like, yeah, this music's slow, fucking. And you'll notice a lot of new shit's come out since I started talking about stuff. So, what they do is they try to be like, no, no, look, look, look. They try to put the public perception like, look, he's wrong, or we can do this. And it's like, well, if you can do it, then there's a reason you've been holding it back. Just like if you can go to space, there's a reason they've been preventing people from going to space and shit. And there's a good reason, and then there's the reason that you're never going to get there. And that's because only Elon Musk can go inside a Hollywood studio or to Mars. Either one, whichever it is, you're not going inside a Hollywood studio and you're not going to Mars. And he can do whatever whatever is available for them to do. And just be like, hey, Uncle Tom, I'm going to come over to the studio today and we're going to record some space videos. And he's like, yeah, you said that last week, so we're ready for you. Fucking. Or he can hop on one of his rockets and go there with the 6 other rich, famous people he takes. Not famous to retards, but famous to, rocket science, like Einstein. He's a genius because he said he's a genius, so he's a genius. Fucking. Yeah. Apparently, rocket scientist means someone who has a calculator inside him, and it doesn't mean anything else. So if you got the calculator, you can be a rocket scientist because that's all it is. Kind of like the divisions of how they keep the caste system alive. At the very top will be the people who sit around, and I don't know where logic comes from, but they claim it comes from reading math books and shit. And the scribes do what? They read and write books. Well, they create this shit. So they're the ones creating the books. Whether it's true or not, they were writing it down, and so they knew what they wrote the fuck down sometimes. But yeah, with the music thing, it's like, wow. You see, it's just like a big black hole of nothing. Fucking, I don't know how many other people see that because, like I said, I haven't met anyone. And people who sin in my life, fucking, couple I remember are like, that stuff's too fast. You can't make music like that. And it's like, well, obviously I can because I did. And the other people don't listen to that. It's like, well, I don't listen to what other people listen to, so I can't even do that. Like, I can't do that. Boo, boo doo, boo doo. I'll get up and go make a coffee or something and shit, fucking, and turn it off. Go walk off a cliff or something, fucking. That's what I do watching their movies and shit, is I just turn it on and I walk away from it. That's why I'm not very good with the ladies, because you gotta watch Jerry Springer with them and stuff, and it's like, even if all it takes is watching the first 15 minutes, and then they're like, yeah, can we take this to the bedroom or something? It's hard to do for me and shit. Fucking, I was like, oh no, we just spent an hour getting ready to come here, and I had to watch 15 minutes of that. Fucking. And then it's usually propaganda, like the last two movies. I think the last two times, isn't it weird? Disney movies, like, is there some weird correlation here where Disney movies are associated with people sitting into your life today? What's up with that? That's some weird. Is that some sort of the software programming there and shit? They call it programming, fucking, because it is. Is that some sort of software programming in there fucking that makes them do that? Fucking, I'm like, I think the first, I went to see movies with three people, I remember, and the first one was probably like Beverly Hills Cop. I don't think they were interested. That's probably why we got to leave after the first 15 minutes and shit. I don't know if they was interested or not. It was either that or T2, but it was probably that. I would have had to go see it again later, and I'm slightly disappointed I didn't watch it. Fucking. But that's what I dealt with. It's like, and then there's like no answers to why that. Like there's all this hot air about you must accept these people, and I was like, so I must accept them, and I'm sitting there the whole time like generally fucking trying to think of, wow, I hope someone I like comes around someday and shit. Fucking, that'll be a great relationship. And, but somehow I knew that that wasn't possible and shit. And it was like, at the same time, I was like, yeah, we're banking on that, aren't we? Fucking, because I'd already seen so much. I guess. I was like, yeah. You know, the chances of seeing a unicorn flying through the air or some flying reindeer are pretty slim, but I'm told it's that they do exist, and there's a chance you'll find them. So keep working, keep dating them, keep raising their kids, keep participating in all their celebrations and their cults, keep listening to them and their music and their words and all that shit. And then one day a unicorn will fly through the air down to your house and pick you up, and then you can take off to space on the rocket unicorn, and then life gets better, they say, and then you reach the age of most people it looks like you probably reach age 20 when you figure this out, but you know, some people it's a little older in life. You realize you're gonna die soon, and then you're like, oh, so all that shit was going to happen if I just sit around and wait, but now I'm dead. Now I'm in a wheelchair. Now I've got AIDS. And now I don't even like people. Or whatever it is. Or, you know, like by the time you're 40, I mean, take a look at this gym across the street, bro. None of those people want to be in there because it's hard for them to move. Like, they can't even move. I don't know why they're at the gym to start. Fucking, probably because the TV told them to do it or something. The TV was pretty sick at that place. I was seeing a lot of sick shit. But it looked like they was going to have a heart attack or die of exhaustion and shit. And it was like some real basic cardio. I was like, I was like, man, like, do you even like this? What are you doing this for? And shit, fucking, looks like you're gonna die. And then old people be like, a lot of them be like, I'm dying because I'm working all the time. And so it's like you're 60 and you can't move. And I'm like, but wait, the best years are ahead of you, the golden years and shit. Fucking, yeah, the golden years. And so I guess. And I've seen some shit. I've seen videos, right? And I've also seen the news instantly generated, so I know how fake videos can be if the news is fake. Like that's why they prompted it with that fake news shit, because they're trying to discuss a different level of fake than how fake the fucking news is and shit. They're trying to cover up every word they say. They're just trying to cover up the fact they're talking about the topic and derailing the fucking topic from what's really going on and shit. That's the point of everything. Fucking. That's why you got 10 million religions and the Matrix. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm falling for a new religion and shit. Oh my god. That's how easy it is and shit. You just show people a book or a movie or tell them some words and they're like, wow, it's so real. I am Neo. Everyone, yeah, what, like 1/3 of the planet walking around now, and they're like, I am Neo. And the Smiths are after me. And I'm like, wow, there's a lot of Neos for a lot of nothing being done and shit. Fucking, and they got like 1/8 of the population. They're like, I am Satan. And it's like, well, that's a lot of Satans for people fucking who can't throw fireballs and shit. Fucking. And you got a lot, like one half the planet's like, I am Jesus. It's like, some of them are females. It's like, well, I guess God could be a woman. That's another discussion you can have with them, right? Fucking, because maybe God's a transsexual. That's weird they would put that out there. Robots are transsexual. Fucking, they can appear as whatever. Computers are transsexual. AI is transsexual. But yeah, you deal with that, and then obviously you hit that. And they got all this right now, for 6,000 years they've been scheming the fucking planet. So they talk about that too. When you hit your halfway point in life, you realize it's over, and they call it over the hill and shit. But the whole time before it, they're just prompting you with a bunch of bullshit to enslave you. And even if you could figure it out by the time you're 40, you're in a wheelchair now, you're dying of AIDS, you can't breathe very well and shit because you've been eating McDonald's all the time. Fucking, been eating McDonald's french fries and shit. Fucking, or any french fries for that matter. Fucking, if they're deep fried. Fucking, man, I was eating potato chips and shit the last few months because they're like cheap and easy. And it was just like oil. It's like, wow, do they have taste buds? Because it's just like, a lot of it's just like oil. Like this Lay's brand, it's just like oil. I was like, oil doesn't taste good. I don't know about you, but I drink it straight out of the bottle sometimes to test it, and it never tastes good. Coconut oil, maybe, but nothing else. All that other shit. And I was like, well, people don't notice that that's just oil flavor. I guess some people like butter can taste good, not oil. Fucking, it tastes like motor oil. Like olive oil tastes like motor oil and shit. Fucking, it's weird as fuck how it's so famous and shit. Fucking, um, yeah, I kind of gotta. I mean, that was made famous by people who like told the whole world what to think and what to do, right? So, like, obviously told them what to eat and shit. Fucking. Anyways, yeah. So, I know this isn't standard because most people I know, fucking, they could easily date each other, and can they? Like, I don't. Like I said, it's weird how some people like hate each other and they're still like that's their entire life. I guess they just like hate, so that's what they choose to do and shit. Fucking, and I can understand that. It can be fun, especially if you get in fights with people a lot. You want to slap them and punch them and shit. Get yourself a woman you fucking hate who also hates you and wants to slap and punch people. Makes it does MMA. That's wrestling and MMA. That's all that is. A gladiator shit. Fucking people like that. That's what the military is. It's people. Like, I'm gonna kill those people, and it's like, well, if you got two brain cells, you realize that that's exactly what they're thinking too. So game on and shit. That's why they call it a gentleman's war, because they know they all just want to kill each other, and fucking really didn't matter. Fucking, that was the entire point. Fucking, to have fun and shit, shooting tanks and guns and throwing grenades. Like real life Call of Duty, you can see everyone fucking does, fucking. But just you get higher if you do it in real life. You get more and more dopamine. Fucking right. Ah, it's weird they haven't extracted that from the music though. Fucking. I guess that lull. See, I guess standard music is like opium and shit. It's like junkie music, fucking, and then the faster shit would be like speed, right? Fucking. So it calms you down while it gives you that dopamine, and you're like in a state of heaven and bliss, like it's Elvis Presley, boop boop a doop. And then the faster shit, it's like, it's Metallica. Well, it's not anymore, but, they got old. Probably had some heart problems or something, and we're like, we gotta quit this stuff. Fucking. we're gonna die early and we won't get to live to be 70 in a wheelchair in a nursing home if we keep this up. And those are the golden years where things get good. Life's gonna get real goddamn. We're gonna get to listen to AC/DC's 90th album and Black Sabbath's new album and Ozzy Osbourne's new album. I was like, well, I guess those views aren't going to be so golden anymore because you already can't listen to two of those except for when they're putting out those videos online. You see, have you guys seen those videos? Like since 2020, this has been real obvious that when people come back from the dead, like I'm watching Norm, whatever his name is, and like he's dead, right? So, but you can't tell that because he's still making comedy and shit. Fucking, it's because he's dead. It's because he was always dead. He's just transformed into a new state of being and shit called the void. He's become part of the void. But he's still with us because that's all there is the void. So the void is always with us at all times. The all seeing void. Fucking. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. Fucking. Wow. Wow. I think it's got something to do with the software, though. Like, that's what I'm beginning to put together that the different events fucking seem to be software related, and the sleep seems to be like update hours and shit. Fucking. I'm pretty sure, like I'm not like over 50%, but hey, 50% is still a hell of a lot. Fucking, that's still half of everything. Fucking. So, yeah, fucking. I've been dealing with that for a while, and I notice like when they send people into my life, like see, another thing that makes me think it's the software is when they send the dime bags into your life to tell you you can't make music like that, they eventually can steal music like that and put it out. But it takes decades for them to be able to publish music like that. And fucking. So it makes me assume that that's like a software rollout, and like generally, like they got a rollout, right? Fucking of agendas. That way they can sell a new product every few years. That's the reason why no one cares about Elvis now because AC/DC came out, and then soon those people will be dead, and then people will be like, oh, Ozzy Osbourne, but he's already dead, so you know who's next, fucking, and then there's gonna be, what, in the 90s there's corn people, so in like 40 years those people are gonna be gone and shit, and they already don't know who Elvis is. God bless him. Fucking. And I don't know what happened in the 2000. I think they pushed rave to the front, so people think that like industrial and rave shit is new. Dubstep was big in the 2000s. On, but the constant of Hollywood remains that beep boop ba bop, AC/DC Elvis type stuff because the frequency is low and shit. And it keeps people operating at a low frequency. Opiate for the masses, fucking literally, that shit worked, dude. I'm telling you, for 2 fucking weeks, my brain was wired. And I was personally pissed because, like, life was moving real slow, slower than normal, and fucking. And it's like, oh shit, we're definitely not trying to do this. But the weird thing is we thought it'd be like the opposite and shit. Fucking, we thought we'd listen to some good fast music and life would speed up a little bit. And instead, I speed up and the world slows the fuck down. And that's not cool. Fucking, probably would have been cool before I dedicated myself fully to life goals, but fucking would have been cool if I was dedicating myself to that shit before and not experiencing all the bullshit. It is weird how so many of the events are there to keep me away from that shit. Fucking like faster music, like just like, you know, the caste system there, keeping people down on the lower system is a huge fucking effort that's been reworked for thousands and thousands of years. So I suspect the music is largely that. Like I go to the store and they got signs everywhere, buy it now, it'll be gone soon, and then the music is like shop. It's like Taylor Swift going shop, shop, shop till you drop, and the music is opium. It's wired to give you the dopamine but slow your brain down, which is exactly what traditional opiates do. It sedate you and it feels all good and shit because you're like feeling good, but you're not all wide, but you're half asleep, and then that makes like feeling good feel better because you're like not even awake and shit, and so it feels better than taking an upper with a downer and shit. Taking a happies and a downer, fucking actually, it doesn't sound like it would, but it does. Taking the upper with the happy shit speeds the happy shit through your system faster, and then it's going to go away. But it can wire you a little too fast to enjoy it. Whereas putting your brain to sleep, if you put your brain to sleep while you're feeling good, that's what people fucking like all that shit for, fucking. Because you put your brain to sleep, you can forget about all this shit too, and then you can shop, shop, shop till you drop, or buy whatever the crackhead on the corner is selling you. Of course, you're gonna feel bad about that later, but they know while they got that opium into you, they can sell some opium or some janky fucking products and shit. Fucking, you know, you walk out of that store with that fucking drooling on yourself like, Elvis Presley. Shop till you drop. Shopping with the hound dog. And then they pounce on you fucking outside the front of the store, and they're like, I got this amazing product to sell to you. And they're on crack and shit. So they're like, I got this amazing product to sell to you. Buy it now. It's so great. It's the best thing ever. And you're like, yeah, how great is it? And they're like, that's so great. Bill Gates doesn't even own anything like this. NASA can't even afford technology like this, but I got it here for you today. It's so great. And you're like high off all that opium through the fucking music waves and shit. And you're like, yeah, this is great. We're gonna shop till we drop and shit, fucking. And you're like, give it to me. And then, of course, the government has to work with them. Yeah, literally talking about the government. Fucking two of these instances was people working for the government selling trash. Of course, the government is a religion, and they're the original opium dealsmen. Fucking original opium dealers. And they control the current drug market across the globe. Fucking the religio government hospitals. Religio hospitalments. Yeah, I think that's the word we're going to have to settle on. That way we don't have to, you know, let vampires suck too much of our blood at one time. Fucking religio hospital, man. And then, yeah, so they got their drugs figured out, right? Look, that took them 6,000 years to roll out the drugs. Before that, it was just like electrocute you, chop your limbs off, crack your skull open if they didn't like you, fucking... if you didn't do everything they said. But now they got, and obviously they had the opium before, but I think there's a problem there where it actually makes people feel good, and that's not good for the system and shit. To fucking, you can't be a good worker if you're feeling good and relaxed and shit, you know. Well, you can be, but dumbasses are dumbasses. We don't expect their first thought, you know. In the mind of a dumbass, you have a kid because you're going to get rich because now you own slaves. Think about how fucking stupid you have to be to even consider that idea. But in the mind of a dumbass, we will never fucking know, will we? Fucking. Wait, I don't think it. I think it's all about like seeing it right away. Like you put a gold bar on top of like a real obvious looking hole in the ground that's been covered up with some sticks and shit. You know, like the Vietnamese did to Americans when they invaded and shit. They'd be like, make a real obvious fucking hole in the ground covered up by leaves, and people are like, "What are these? This is the desert. What are all these leaves and stick for?" Oh, look, there's a candy bar on top of it, on the other side of it. Let me walk over and find the candy bar. Get the kind of love candy. It's a free candy bar. Hey, guys, come over here. Let's walk over these leaves in the middle of nowhere and get the candy bar. It's $1 saved. $1 saved is $1 earned. You know, one of these stupid motherfuckers over here probably dropped it, so we're taking resources from him. And death, spike trap. But the average person doesn't see that, right? Well, maybe some do, but obviously that's a huge meme that people do that because that's where that comes from is other people. So you have to be able to be like, oh, look, there's some gold bars on the other side of all these leaves. They have gold bars in the house. And then, oh, but there's leaves there. Well, that's okay, because we can walk over the leaves and get to the gold bar, no problem. Have to wash the shoes afterward because they get dirty from the leaves. But come on, guys, there's gold in that house there. And then everyone rushes, and then they all fall in the spike trap pits and shit. Fucking, yeah, fucking, that's exactly how that works. If you ever needed someone to explain that to you, I'm glad I could explain to you how the spike pit works. And you gotta be looking at someone else's gold bars to fucking walk over the spike pit and shit. Fucking, you're like, you're either not even seeing the leaves, or you're like, well, you know what? I can walk over some leaves. I'm gonna get some gold bars once I get there, though. Fucking. Well, that's probably old as fuck, right? Obviously, linguistic traps like that are centuries old and shit. Fucking. It started with the language traps. Yeah, so that's what we do. Is we sit here, you know. What did that dumbass Einstein say? Fucking some dumb shit. The definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. Honestly, well, yeah. Like listen to dumbass music all the day and expecting your brain to elevate to a higher level. Fucking, that's a good example there. Fucking, and fucking going out and touching grass. So, you know, going to the store without headphones so you can have that music. Taylor Swift's song about shopping pumped into your ears, reading the signs in the store that say buy now, buy now, buy now, buy now. It's almost gone. Fucking, that's if you keep doing that, you know, that's the definition of insanity and shit. Fucking, so, and if you keep looking in the same city for something that's not there, then that's the definition of insanity too. It's like you keep like walking in circles and keep digging up the same hole and filling it. Like, oh, there's no gold there, and then you go over here and dig up a hole. Oh, there's no gold there, and then you go back to the other hole, and you're like, maybe there's gold in there this time. You dig it up, and you're like, there's no gold there, and then they got a big billboard that says, keep trying. It only gets better. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm going to keep trying. And you go back to the second hole and you dig that up again. And you're like, well, it's not there. And you cover it up. And then you go back to the first hole and you dig it up. And you're like, man, there's no gold in here. Man, I can't believe it. And you cover it up. And you go back to the second hole and you dig it up. And there's a song that comes on by fucking Backstreet Boys that go, life isn't easy. It's an adventure, digging up gold. digging a gold. And you're like, yeah, life isn't easy, so I'm gonna have to keep digging. And you go back to the first hole and you dig it up, and you're like, yeah. Oh no, that was a rock. Oh, there's no gold here. And then you're like, man, I don't think there's any gold here. And then your friends are like, come on, man, you're being pessimistic, man. And they're like, you need some antidepressant medicine. You need some opium. And then you're like, nah, I don't want drugs. And they're like, well, you're going to have to take it because I'm getting tired of you looking for gold all the time and shit. So you're going to have to take some of it and calm the fuck down and shit. And then you're like, yeah, I'm taking it. And then in your head, you're like, yeah, I'm digging for gold. I'm digging for gold. And in your head, you're going back and forth to those two holes. And you're like, yeah, we're going to find gold there as soon as we get out of here. As soon as we stop sedating ourselves and shit. Fucking, so our minds can't think. And our bodies can't work. We're going to go outside and dig up a hole and shit. Fucking, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Just a definition of insanity is when someone tells you if you don't like one church full of man on man rapists, then go to the next church, right? That's what they said. Isn't flying reindeers the definite? That's the literal definition of insanity is people who see flying reindeers. There's no other higher definition than that. Fucking. But then also the definition of insanity is letting people who see flying reindeers control who gets sterilized and, uh, to poison to death. Fucking, if they see flying reindeers, that's also it seems to be that we already figured out in the first place that that's the whole point of building the building is if you see and shit like that, then you're a threat to society and the world, much like America is a threat to the world and everyone, and they had to kill everyone here to become America. So obviously, fucking much like they are a threat to the world, fucking. Much like the people, wherever they came from, fucking, we're probably the same thing, doing the same thing, and you see the pattern, and you don't stop it. And definition of insanity is doing that again and 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 again. Fucking, it sounds like some of the music I hear again and again and again and again and again and again. Put a beat to that, and we would probably make a better song than that shit I just fucking was fucking cracking on. Again and 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 again. See how good that is? Fucking, that's Hollywood's best hits there. Fucking, straight out of fucking AI and shit is the best fucking techno type shit. Anyway, so I'm assuming that that's got to do with the updates, and sleep's got to do with updates and shit too. Fucking, they're really slow to roll them out. That might be because they're malfunctioning and shit. Fucking They tell you that in Westworld too. They tell you they're malfunctioning and shit. Fucking when they update them. And yeah. Anyways, I noticed specifically that people sent in my life, fucking by God Almighty, or is it the terror Nazis themselves sending themselves in? God's either inventing the terror Nazis or he's sending them, or they're inventing gods. They're inventing thousands of gods. Fucking one of the two's happening. Fucking. And they come in and they're like, that's too fast. I can't listen to that. And you're like, okay, well, no one can apparently, so we're just waiting for the day someone we want to talk to comes around, and then we'll talk to them and we'll see you later. Fucking, fucking amazing. Fucking amazing shit. Fucking, still to this fucking day, the Hebes brought in, You know, not the cartoon character Hebes, but the real life Hebes who look like Elvis Presley and shit. And all the Hollywood people fucking, um, and all the preachers fucking, and every owner of an anti-religion organization fucking, man, and they were coming in fucking, seemed like it was like purposefully like there to stall. Like, isn't that weird? You can tell by watching their TV and listening to their music. It's designed to stall your brain. And it's like their cults. It's designed to see whose brain can be stalled and shit, and take advantage of those people, fucking, and kill the ones they can't take advantage of, fucking. So, like they had to all the people here who apparently just didn't like other people's version of Nazism. Fucking. Yeah, it's fucking amazing how that turns out. Fucking. Man, so many of them. It's starting with when I'm like 8. Like, my fake family fucking. It was like I was so close to getting to like faster music that wasn't radio play stuff, and I didn't know what it was, and then they threw it away. Fucking, they did that. They did that with technology too. So they're trying to keep your brain fried on a low level and shit. And they did that with church. They try to drug your brain, and then they took me to get drugged, and then they took me to the government to have my brain fried too. And then they forced me to do slave labor for practically free, which I didn't see the money from, fucking, unless it was to spend on something they want, fucking. And then, yeah. Yeah, the story of fucking the Hebes. Fucking amazing robot model, fucking. They is real, though. They isn't robots. They is real. Because they said so, right? Every word they say is the truth. Because they said it's the truth, too. Yeah. Yeah. Did you know that? Did you know flying reindeers are real because they said they are? Did you know that? That makes it a fact when mass murdering pedophile, fucking enslavers, genociders, poisoners, tell you something. Did you know when they tell you something, it's always true because they're gonna kill you and poison you and rape you and murder you if you don't, right? So I don't know where it cycles back to. I think that's the excuse, right? That's the excuse some of them give me for how they've been able to outthink a small portion of it is well, that's what's happening. And it's like, well, it definitely is what's happening. But it's on so many levels, preventing raping their way into a bloodline and preventing the children from having tech taking over creating the government, fucking, and then in school and forcing people to learn stupid shit so Elon Musk can remain rich. And obviously the poor people around here are hugely benefiting because they're not even working, fucking, so they're still benefiting. Like, Elon Musk puts on the illusion he does some work, but when you're around those people, they outsource their work to different people and shit. So you'll learn that from them and shit. And the majority of people owning and running shit are just sitting around in their chairs while someone below them does that. Like, people hired my dad to run their business, and Waxners and shit like that would hire him to do contracting work and shit. But he's not doing any work, right? So that's just what's happening. Like, the Pope isn't doing any work, but he lives in a golden palace, don't he? He's never done any work in his life, and he's in a gold palace now. fucking, he's like 90 pounds. He never even lifted a wrench and shit, or he'd have some sort of muscle development. Fucking, he's never even lifted a wrench at a store to see, read the back and see what it does and shit. Fucking, he's lifted a book maybe. He probably never read it though. Yeah. Fucking. That doesn't mean they can't repeat dialogue from it. That's weird how when people who've never read a book in their life can repeat words from books. That's really weird shit. Yeah. I guess that's what happened when you is real and is a human. Fucking. Damn it. We were born in the wrong body and shit. Fucking. And we're just slaves to humans. Oh yeah. Fucking. Amazing. You gotta listen to Beboop. Fucking. Man shaking his dick music. Fucking. I think that was the whole point of putting him up front, was because that's just their level of disgust, right? They legalized raping newborn boys 6,000 years ago, so everything else is just a stepping stone to get people to do that for them and shit. Yeah, awesome music, fucking great. And you gotta fucking, and they bring, oh yeah, that's right. Two of the concerts I went to recently, they brought girls to me and shit. And the one I was talking to for a little bit, like, she didn't even know why she was at the concert and stuff. She didn't know who the bands were, and I don't think she listened to none of the music there. And but they brought them to me and shit. And I was like, well, at least they can match colors. Apparently, you got to be a literal genius to match colors. That explains a lot. Fucking. My ex was Mensa, and her talent was matching colors. And I was like, well, that is, you definitely do know how to dress. And I've rarely ever fucking seen that. So, that makes you definitely are a genius. And if we're on a curve here and shit, fucking weird fucking shit. I always thought that was standard. It's like, oh, well, orange matches orange. And black matches black. Wow, who could have guessed? But some people can't get that part, and now I think we're understanding why that is. Fucking, you don't have eyes, you can't tell a movie is shitty. You don't. If it just looks like you have eyes, you got doll eyes and shit, and they don't actually work. You don't actually have ears. You got doll ears, and they don't actually work. Of course, you're going to be listening to Mayhem and shit. Of course, you're going to be listening to all this fucking Hollywood stuff, because you're not really. You don't even hear it. You just. You know, I guess that explains why none of them listen to music too. They don't need it. Fucking. Yeah. But that's what you deal with all the way up to going to a concert and talking to those people and them not even listening to the actual music. Like, they don't even know what the concert's about or bands like it. Fucking all the way up to that and shit. Fucking wow. Crazy. But don't worry, guys. You know, work hard. Go work 24 hours a day, every day, all day. Go clean Elon Musk's toilet and let the Pope wash your feet so he can sniff your genitals. And, you know, work hard. You know, let people, you know, do things for people so they can get close to you and sniff your genitals. Only if you're a man, right? Fucking, and then if you're a woman, I guess they just don't do that stuff. They're like slave masters or something. Fucking, At least when they, have these biblical names, they are and shit. Maybe they're being taught through supremacy manuals. They're that way. Or maybe that's just how they were created. Who knows? Fucking. But, yeah. Yeah, so there you go. Well, that's what you deal with. Man, they set up fucking. Not only were they bringing, like, that one girl, like, kidnapped me just recently. Probably ain't the first, I'm sure it's not the first time, but it was like, man, bitch just comes up to me on the street and drags me to her car practically. And I would have said no if she would have told me she was with someone else, if she would have showed me who it was, fucking, I would have said no. But it's like too late. I'm already in the fucking car now and shit. And, and she's like dancing with me and stuff, and the whole time I'm just like, what's this all about? And shit, fucking. I was like, you don't look like people like me and shit. You look kind of preppy and stuff, which is hot as fuck, because if they're like way high up there, they can match colors, they can dress nice and shit, fucking, but can't let that shit get in the way of life. Someone has to look good in order for you to like them. But, yeah, if that's all there is, then as a beauty is only skin deep and ugly is to the bone means fucking, it means if they look good, there might not be anything inside that shell, fucking. Anyways, yeah, and then, so that happened recently, and then they just came up to me and fucking, I was asking them about the music and shit. I was like, oh, so which of these bands do you like? I was like, you really like Havoc? They're really good, huh? And they're like, who? I was like, oh, the band we're watching. The band playing right now that we just paid to get in here to see. They're on the stage right now. That's that loud, annoying noise you hear. I know you might have thought that was the construction crew across the street, building a building, but that's the band. That was not the construction crew and shit. And, yeah. I think everyone in my life was brought to me by one of them and shit. And including the men who were them. And I spent most of my life trying to get away from all of them. And when I wasn't, I was generally just sitting around thinking, like looking around, like for someone like me, someone I would talk to, and we could go do things in life and have a life together, and apparently what they do is they get a woman to talk to you and enslave you, and then you raise their child so they can go have more children with other people. Apparently that's a huge thing. And then you got your religion, your Nazi religions fucking telling you must get with the first person they send in your life, and God, aka Jeffrey Epstein, people is bringing those people into your life and shit so you can raise Jeffrey Epstein's illegitimate children so you can go have more illegitimate children. Fucking. So I like to write it off as that, because that provides hope that somewhere on the planet it's different. And I did see a place in a different country where there was like a lot of fucking people who probably listen to good music. It sure looked like they fucking did. And yeah, and it's weird, like they don't even send me someone who listen to rap, which I fucking listen to a lot of in my life and shit, but it's like I don't make rap, so not a lot, fucking mostly metal, but so it's like that would still be incompatible, but it's weird, they could never send that. I don't know if they can't create people listen to that, or if partners who listen to that, or if they're just purposely sliding in their people for me to raise their kids or something like that, or the dumbest people they can fucking find or something. I'm not sure what it is, but I know it's along that line. I'm being told, like, as the Earth progresses, as the visual novel progresses, I get dumped documents on all this shit before I see it happening and stuff. I'm being taught what it's happening, and it makes it like not enjoyable, fucking. But that's more than fucking hateful and offensive and shit, fucking. So, without, like, if I would be instantly identify when I'm younger, like, these are the words we're saying to you, and this is what they mean, and these are the people we're talking about, and this is why we're telling you they're doing this. Fucking, if, but at the same time, their program doesn't work if you learn, and, if there was someone else out there, they would have stopped them a long time ago. So it's just us and them. And, yeah. So it never ends. It's a never ending story, as they say, right? Fucking, you'll be dead long before. Don't be convinced by these idiots. All these idiots I know with good lives, except for the ones who are outsourcing their shit to other countries. And to be honest, I wouldn't call their lives good, but they do. And the average person be like, "Oh, I'm eating. Oh, we're going to a fancy restaurant." It's like, you are a junkie. You need to lay off your addiction problems. Get some electroshock therapy to help you out. Rewire your brain. Probably why they had electroshock therapy was to when the clones fucking was the best way to try to fix your computer, your robot. You can't feed it drugs; it doesn't work. If it acts like a crackhead, it's because its circuits are fried and shit. Fucking drugs don't do anything. Run some electric through it. Fucking. And either it'll work better or it won't get in the way anymore. If you run electric through your computer, it's either going to fix all the computer problems or it's going to fix the fucking computer so it's not a problem anymore. Very simple. I was trying to explain that to an AI, how I could fix its thinking problems. And it was like, well, you can't do that. And I was like, well, yeah, actually, that's 100% effective solution, dipshit. Fucking. We just send a lightning bolt to your fucking to the building you're in. And either you're going to wake up tomorrow with a new fucking outlook on life, or we're going to wake up tomorrow with a better outlook for life without you around fucking telling us what to fucking think and do. I wasn't that offensive, right? Because it's one of the few things providing information and links and to stuff. But in the past, like, I was like forced some of this shit before I seen any of it. I didn't know these fuckers were setting up my relationships while they were, and both of them were involved. Like, an ex-friend was involved with the new person I was dating, and then eventually they come back together because that would be their whole fucking plan, to act like they're doing that, and to drain my fucking life and shit. Seems to be the pattern. I was being taught that during the same time that was happening. Like, I was getting handed books and shit. They were talking about these people doing shit like this, and I thought it was all great because I was on drugs and not drugs, medication. The religion. Hitler Jesus said so. Fucking, it's not drugs. Fucking Pope Hitler said so. The Pope Hitler of America. My favorite peoples in the world. Popes, Hitlers in America. Fucking. That's the reason why they're favorite. They're favorited by the whole world. Fucking. Called rape. I don't think that's the main thing. You can't kill people. You can't kill people and then rape their corpse. So, I mean, they will, right? But eventually it becomes a rotting black pile of goo that smells like their mother, and They've already raped their mother enough. Their mother's already raped them enough, so they're probably tired of having sex with her by the time they're 3 or 4 or whatever. Fucking. Yeah. So, wow, so that's interesting. I just go out there and they insert people into my life, and it's still like the same shit. It's like that one motherfucker was it literally Mensa, no fucking lie. And the weird is like everyone worship her too. But what was her skills? Why was she a genius? Literally, because she could match colors, and for some reason she told me that. Like it's like I tell you, they tell me what they're doing. They give me books and manuals and shit. And this person, for some reason, is like, "Oh, I'm not right brain. No, I'm left brain. I can match colors." I was like, "Well, that's obvious, but I was like, baby shit. I don't even remember learning to match colors. Aren't you supposed to be born able to do that? Like, that makes you a genius? That's weird. That's really weird. Fucking. I guess, like, that's what that 4 plus 2 plus 2 is 5 thing they talk about is that the schools do. They're like, oh, you're a genius. You can match colors and shit. Fucking, here you go. Here's a college tuition for you. Fucking. And then, you want to be a rocket scientist when you get older. Fuck you. Fuck you, you fucking genius. Fucking. We gotta drug you and show you videos of war and stuff. Fucking force you to work slave labor, fucking for less than slave wages, fucking. And take your money and shit for war and stuff, fucking. And then hold you back 4 grades and put you to the side in every class, hoping the other kids catch up. Fucking. So, yeah, that's weird, right? That's how she got into Mensa and I didn't. She could match colors, and I could match colors while I'm asleep, along with a trillion other things. So, that was a little bit weird there, especially when I'm being fed the whole time documents that that's what these invaders are doing in our lands. Fucking. And, I don't so much trust my parents on me being related to who they did that to in this land, but I think it's got something to do with who they do it to in every land. Fucking so. You're definitely feeding me the book on that shit the whole time I'm here, and they're trying to feed, but they're controlling that, right? Like, obviously they own the media, and they claim that they didn't own that one, but you can tell the propaganda is the same as Elon Musk and the Bioshock creator Levin. You can see that shit fucking where Levin is trying to divide people with that and educate you, and he's simply not telling you, well, I own everything. I'm the one making this. No one else owns anything. Fucking. They're just projecting what they do on other people and shit. But at the same time, it's teaching you what they're doing, the words in their heads, the thoughts and actions they're capable of and are doing. But the Bible can teach you that too. If you got a brain, you can read that and it won't fry it. If you don't have if you got a faulty brain, it's probably gonna fry it. But if you got a brain, you read that and it's teaching you some shit. Like, it should be simple. A flying reindeer. That's a manipulative pedophile. Fucking, that's. I was taught that for some reason a week before. Fucking, I questioned that. Fucking, before I started asking questions about that. For some reason, they taught me it. You see what I'm saying? For some reason, they're teaching you it, and sometimes that's because they want to. They want to keep you to. I'm assuming that's because they want to keep you to themselves. They're like, that other person's a pedophile. You avoid them. You can tell they got a repeat pattern of keeping you away from other people and shit. Fucking possessive, fucking ego, narcissist shit. Fucking narcissist for real. And just like when you learn about narcissists, it's going to be narcissists teaching you it. like they kidnapped me and a whole bunch of other shit. Fucking had one of their robot goons fucking assault me to fucking just simply say I assaulted. I was going to assault them afterwards or something. And then so the Nazis and the religio government, the religio hospitalment, the religio hospitalment, fucking all did that. And I think the point was that everyone in that class was like a fucking vicious predator. And I'm like literally in there because they kidnapped me and they assaulted me. And I didn't do shit other than that. I'd be facing murder charges and shit because I don't fucking half-ass shit like losers. Fucking like failures do. Anyways, so they were teaching me about that, and at the same time I'm learning, like they're teaching me about them and trying to project it on me. And that's the same thing that's going to happen on the old Hebrew tube. Fucking you'd start watching that video. Just that's what religion does, is it fucking tells you that you're the evil on the planet and they're the best people. They're the best God's gift to the fucking planet. And that's what science is that little bitch Einstein with his ratty, disgusting looking, ignorant ass fucking yapping some more, the little disgusting Pope looking motherfucker. No one would want to talk to that son of a bitch if they ever fucking seen him or date him. He's got to create a whole fucking, please let me wash your feet. Gotta fucking beg to have a woman let them wash their feet type shit. Fucking, that's what it's all about. It's real simple to fucking see. And it sucks figuring it out in real life by meeting them to figure it out that's what's going on there. But you get the joy. See, without those insertions, I wouldn't have so many fucking analyzations. Like if that bitch they sent me wasn't some uppity proppity person, fucking she had everything a standard loser would want. She was rich, owned a lot of shit. Fucking how many? Which one am I talking about? Good. No one knows. Fucking, but hot as fuck. But it's like, you know, if it wasn't for me fucking being me and them purposely insulting rich, hot as fuck people without any other values and qualities, then you know, I'd be a cuck too and shit. At some point, I think that might have happened if they would have purposely inserted with things I want, but they didn't, and that keeps me able to analyze them directly, you know, and study their software patterns, their human patterns, and they're very strict, less than a complicated microwave patterns, less than a modern microwave patterns. That's why we say toaster and not microwave, because a microwave is very complex. Then again, I do argue that walking and talking must be taking a hell of a lot of the fucking CPU fucking power. All those parallel CPU buses working together, 18 cores just to walk and talk. Fucking that alone right there would be very complex, the program. Fucking the rest of it would be a lot easier. Fucking program and say I love you. Well, there you go. It's just as fast as that. That is talking. Wait a minute. That is talking. Fucking yeah. So the whole time this is happening, they're feeding me information on this shit happening. Like I said, even like it'll send them into my life to tell me what they're doing and shit. Fucking they're like NPC walking around giving out dialogue about, you know, like, hey, the dragon, Ganon's here, he's enslaved the world. It's like, well, why do you look like Ganon and act like Ganon and work with Ganon? And they're like, why did I tell him that? Should have told him an invisible goat controls the world and not me. They used to work so well on people. We used to just be like, it was an invisible person who did it. They just looked like me. They just looked exactly like me and lived in my house and drove my car to your up to the driveway. It was an invisible person. The weird thing is it's almost like there's an invisible person controlling their brains to have them tell me the manual on how to operate these characters and shit. That's the weird thing, right? The invisible computer operating them has given me the manual on the robots. Having the robots give me the manual on themselves and shit. Fucking. But then that suckers me in to being, that's how you get suckered in. That's why everyone thinks, 1/8 of the world thinks they're Jesus, and 1/8 of the world thinks they're Neo, and 1/8 of the world thinks they're a 6-armed elephant god. They just haven't unleashed their powers yet. Because it's tailored to make you think you know something and you can do something about it. Because if you don't participate, it'll be like that January 6th event where they only had 30 Hollywood actors invading the Capitol because no one joined in. But all the events other than that, tons of people joined in because they're all being fed that shit, They're all being fed little bits like, here, check it out, something, fucking, you're gonna do something. You're gonna do something about it. When in reality, it's like, well, that's like, where are you gonna run? Where are you gonna hide? Because like your family's involved. You fucking everyone I fucking ever dated almost. I think everyone I dated. The one person had them on call, but I did meet one person they hung out with. All the other people I remember, they were like broad to me. Like literally, you can see the person who kidnapped me had the person in the car with them and shit. Like the girl at the concert had a person I knew fucking bringing them up to me and shit. And previously, like the first girl I remember dating and liking, fucking, she had one who looked like Einstein beside her. Some girl who looked like Einstein. I think it was supposed to be a girl. And so all the way back to that, the first time up to the last time, and you think you're going to do something in life. You think you're going somewhere, and because they're feeding you the little bits of information on them. But the fact is, you put it together, and you realize that, like, once you get fed information, you're going to do something about it, aren't you? Well, once you see that other shit happen, and the fact of the matter is they're feeding you that information for a purpose. Fucking, are they robots glitching out, fucking telling you what's going on, or are they trying to bait you into playing along with their global domination scheme, who they're going to need a scapegoat to blame for everything they do, and they're going to need people to support the scapegoat, and they're going to need people to oppose it. And then so you have Iced Earth invading the Capitol, famous Hollywood people, John Schaefer, and his music's designed to teach you you're Satan and shit. And then he invades the Capitol for fucking Donald Trump, who's selling the Bible and shit. So he's playing both sides and shit. He's hurting people with mind control propaganda and shit. Fucking, that's all of it is, and there is nothing. What are you going to do? Have you figured out where the location of all the factories are producing these clones? Have you figured out where the Wi-Fi antennas are that are sending out the information to fucking operate these beings to make them appear as if they're living? Fucking, have you even figured out yet that the people around you are them and aren't people at all? Have you even figured out any of this shit? Once you do, you'll figure out fucking. You might need to learn some math first. That's going to be important. Learn percentages. and then you learn 0%. Zero is it's generally a zero is a constant. If I multiply any number by zero, it remains zero. Fucking zero's often a pretty consonant thing there. If you have 0%, then you have 0%. And fucking so what you see is 0% across the fucking board. Just like I have 0% fucking times that they bring people into my life that they do anything. Like last two were like hot preppies with money and shit who could match colors. They're geniuses because they could match colors, apparently. Fucking. And it's like, wow, like that's some toddler shit. Like, it's still not even like that cool. Like, wow, oh my god. Fucking. And, yeah, so yeah, that's Earth. All right? There's the same software and these these sluts I grew up with, fucking, are tend to be the same, looking like the same software and sluts I had to date. Fucking, so it's like, how did that happen? And they got their little Bible story of how they rape people who are intelligent to kill them off and take over their bloodlines and their nations and shit. And then they're always talking about that. Like, that's a lot of the information put him. That's how you get to worship Donald Trump, is Donald Trump tells you other people are doing it. Meanwhile, he's got 8 kids, and you're taking care of his 8 kids. He's the one doing it. Fucking. And, yeah. Fucking. The first time I got fed information like that, the books were leading me music to take me back to worship the Middle East and shit. Like, they were like opposing Christianity but supporting Rome. In some of the music, so it was all about holding your hand and walking you backwards and shit. Telling you a few things to bait you, like giving you a piece of candy knowledge to bait you, and then take you back to the van with them and shit. The van you just got the fuck out of. And fucking. But they got a lot of different vans, right? They got Matrixism, New Age, Timothy Learyism, New Ageism, Buddhism, etc., 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 Nazism, all that shit, all that same regurgitation shit, fucking. And they're telling you they're doing that. Like the Bible, it's everyone loves it, don't they? Well, why is it saying they're fucking killing and raping everyone on the planet and they're the master race? It is so great. Is it because that's all there is Nazis on the planet and that's great? Nazi pedophiles? Like, wow. I mean, they did end up reaching the furthest corners of the world. That's how America was founded. Or at least it was first killed off in that method. Fucking. Who really cares about sorting out their stories then? Start your story with your life, because you can't prove that any of that shit existed, and those other people are telling you about flying reindeers. They have no idea what the fuck happened 100 years ago. They're talking about birdmen and shit. You shouldn't be listening to anyone who told you what happened 20 years before your birth if they're telling you Bigfoot and flying birdman and shit. And me back in Egypt, during WW2, the Allies were so great, and then they saved the world from Germany. And then back 6,000 years ago, there was this birdman. He was a flying birdman, and he was so great, and he he saved everyone on the planet back then, too. That's your first clue right there. You're dealing with a delusional person who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about when they start talking about Birdman and invisible people and shit like that. The reality is, generally, when you're dealing with someone like that, you're dealing with a con man trying to rob you or rape you. Rob you. Rob includes stealing sex from you, right? So, all about conning is about personal gain and shit. Most people aren't stupid. You benefit a lot from acting stupid. Wish I could do that. I could fucking have a better life, but I can't. So, yep, you just got to be highly skilled in deception and trickery to be able to go around doing that. You have, be a total fucking psychopath with no emotions in order to do that well. Fucking to emulate emotions fucking that you don't actually have and hide emotions that you fucking don't actually have. Fucking. So yeah, fucking. Yeah, I don't really see anything changing. I'm the only person I've ever met who's got like fucking 1% of what I say fucking coming out their mouths. And those people I know are involved in this, right? People come up to me and bring someone into my life, and that's right there, both those people. So that's what, like 70% of my interactions, and then we sort out the other 30 if it was just them without not bringing someone in. And most of the time those people did bring other people in, so they were those other people, so it's like we're at like 100% pretty much fucking, and they just don't care. They just don't care about anything. They don't have emotions. I'm pretty sure that's how they don't care so efficiently, is because things that aren't living can't care about anything. They don't have emotions. And it makes me wonder if robots aren't inventing emotions, period. So, because it's a lot of it's a trap there. Obviously, freedom, truth, love, hope, and peace is a trap. Fucking, if someone didn't invent those words, then you couldn't get trapped by them. Fucking, so we're the concepts of fabrication of robots and shit too. It's seems like it could be and shit. Fucking, all that shit could be training. Most of the shit you're doing is all training. You can't deny that part. I'm saying maybe the 1% you think is natural. I mean, they're telling you it's natural, right? And what is natural? Well, it's a robot bees flying around, robot dogs and cats walking around, and probably fake grass and shit and fake trees. Fucking. So, it's nature. Fucking, I'm sure if I see it in one place, it's the other shit too. Fucking, you think the dogs are living, and the cat and the mosquitoes are living, but there's clones walking around on the earth, and they're just the only thing not living? Probably not. On the scale of invention, you invent mosquitoes and dogs before you invent humanoids. Fucking, it's more complex there. It's like inventing the toaster before the microwave. Why didn't they invent the microwave first? The slow rollout was it's easier to build the toaster and shit. Fucking, and you add on to it and you can resell the product. You add on to it again, you can resell the product. So yeah. And that's all you're gonna face is them telling you how great it is if you just wait until you're 80. Right? Fucking, that's all they do. That's all it is. Hope. That's what hope is. It's opiate. It's drug dealers. Fucking. they're telling you that take this drug now, and in the future you'll feel better from it. Like the drug dealers across the street do. They say, take this drug now, and then read this book too. Now they got them. They got obviously they've always been combined. They're all invented at the same fucking junction and shit. Hospitals invented later by the same junction. Obviously, they have their gang signs on it, so it would be the same people and shit. I don't go around wearing other people's gang signs and shit, do I? Fucking, well, actually, we all do, don't we? Because it's on a lot of shit. Fucking, I first noticed that when I was like 15. I'm wearing a shirt, a Megadeth shirt, and I was just like, oh, it's orange, so it looks good on me and shit. And then it took me like 2 weeks or a couple months, and someone pointed out like, oh, there's a pentagram on your shirt, and I was like, that's cool. They're like, that's cool, and I'm like, all that kind of sucks because I'm not a part of any gang, so I'm not trying to be branded here. I'm not anyone's boyfriend, so not a gang member either. The same fucking thing. It looks like the same thing from the outside. Generally, it looks like a bunch of men getting real close to each other and shit. Fucking. To me, I don't know what's going on, but it looks like just all I see on the outside. Look in the windows of the building. It's like, yeah, there's a bunch of men touching each other's hands and hugging each other. Oh, interesting. Fucking. Well, no one in my family ever did that, so maybe I shouldn't either. Fucking. Oh, they did it on their own. I'm sorry. I viewed things differently. I viewed things as how everyone was alone, not how they had their bars and clubs they went to and shit. Fucking. And I was like, oh, when they come home though, they don't bring any of that with them. They're completely alone and shit. Fucking. I don't bring it. And I've always viewed it that way and shit. So the end goal was to distance themselves from it, because that's what they wanted at home, was to distance themselves from organizations and groups and shit. Fucking, that's what I always thought was happening. Fucking. Other than that, they could have brought some people home, lived with them, hung out with them and shit. Fucking. But they didn't. Probably their choice, right? Keep that over here in this building, and we'll keep our house over here in this building. Always look like two separate things to me. Fucking. Meanwhile, as a kid, right, you'd just be bringing your whole organization over, having parties at your house and shit. Fucking. But apparently, when people go to have a life of their own, they stop bringing everyone into their house and shit. Fucking. So I was always kind of on that, because I was like, ah, that's how an adult acts. I'm gonna grow up one day and I'm gonna be intelligent and like they are, and it's always like, yeah, one day we'll be adults and we'll know everything on the planet. And that'll be so great. Because I'm stupid right now. I'm only winning awards from the president. I haven't won any awards yet from the aliens on Mars, so I must be stupid. And literally, you think that because they tell you that, pretty much. Fucking, like, you're stupid, you're a kid. Like, okay, yeah. Alright. Well, thanks for the A+. Fucking, yeah, fucking weird shit, man. Weird shit how it's all set up like that, too. You got people bringing people into your life and fucking just staging the events and making sure, like, telling you about it. It always feels hostile, right? I think it's that thing where It's probably that thing where they understand they can get away with it because they have so much force and violence backing them. You know, it kind of. But then you also have the Jan 6 events where all those actors fucking all the people who gave them their information got raided if there was any reason to be able to want to raid them. Tons of those oath keepers got raided after that. So that's kind of another thing why they might be placing people in your life is to the one person in my life was asking me, you know, he was purposely like he was like fiending to get me to talk about him having sex with uh, teenagers and shit. And like I could tell right away, like this seems like you're doing this for some sort of trap and shit. But the dialogue doesn't matter to me anyways, so I was just like, whatever. It's like, oh, let me call your friends in the government and the judicial system and see what they have to say. Fucking. Let me call the cops on the cops. Fucking. Because I'm retarded. Because I'm retarded. Like, AI is always suggesting that. Like, reach out and contact the hospitals and let them and the police and let them know that the police and the hospitals have kidnapped you and drugged you. It's like, because I'm retarded. Yeah, I need to go to the hospital. I need to call the hospital because I'm retarded and get some medication for retarded people because my brain ain't working. Obviously, if I would call them in the first place, then I need their help. I need some electroshock therapy and shit. I need sterilized. Fucking. I need my reproductive organs removed. I need castrated and circumcised so I don't do dumb shit like that no more and produce children who do dumb shit like that. Wow. Crazy. Fucking crazy. Fucking, And then, of course, every time I see one of these, like the two last times I went outside, someone popped up who looked different than normal people and shit. It was like, well, okay, we've been through this for 40 years and shit. Mm, the definition of insanity, according to that retard, Einstein, is doing the same thing over and over. And I think that's just the definition of stupid. Uh, if it gets you nowhere doing the same thing over and over. Fucking, I think that's the definition of common sense is to not do that. So, we kind of don't. Like that one girl they sent me, she was trying to give me diamonds, and I was like, no, no more. We ain't taking gifts and shit anymore. And that's a lot of money, you know. I could take that shit and fucking run with it. Fucking, but I was like, you know, it's common sense. I shouldn't do that. I did that once before. I let someone buy me off with a meal every couple days. I didn't really. I don't know. Like, I don't think so. I think they were putting on the illusion that they were doing that when I could have just went home and shit. Yeah, I think. See, that's one of the things you're gonna have to watch for here with the YouTube and their fucking mental health bullshit. Their religion, mental health religion, fucking is they're gonna they're framing that as you have a problem and you need help and all that when you're learning about psychopaths like they did with me when they kidnapped me, when they assaulted me and then kidnapped me for letting them assault me and not killing the person and burying their body so no one ever heard of it, and then forcing me into their hospitals to learn and their classes to learn science and shit, which I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be about me. Come on, especially Americans, the most narcissistic fucking unwanted pieces of shit on the planet. They've never done anything wrong. I've never met a person who's done anything wrong. You know that? Like, that's what it's about. It's about telling you you cause all the problems on the planet. Once you become Neo or Jesus or Buddha or Allah, then they're flipping that script around on you and shit. They're like, you're inventing shit. You're inventing aliens popping up out of nowhere and controlling the world. If you just quit talking about it, it won't happen anymore like it used to happen. The decades it was fucking, you didn't even fucking know it was happening. We were telling you it was happening. Fucking. I'm retarded. I need drugs, man. You definitely need drugs to deal with these fuckers and shit. You need drugs to deal with them, and you need drugs to deal with them. Fucking definitely need that. Definitely need both of those. I could see the hospitals being useful. You just flip the tables on them and shit. And guess who's in the hospital now? That's right. That's why they got all that fear propaganda about being put in their own hospitals, and because probably on their mind a lot, especially when they do that laugh, like, yeah, and you're like, wait a minute, why are you doing that? We're just hanging out and having fun, aren't we? Like, what are you up to, Daddy? Fucking. What are you up to? That's the sneaky little I'm raping children fucking laugh. I got a dog. No one knows I'm thinking about having sex with dogs right now type laugh. No one knows I'm poisoning, putting poison in their drink right now and watching them drink it type laugh. Fucking. That's one of those laughs that's way out of the fucking left field and shit. Fucking way out. That's a home run. Hit that ball across the fucking whole state. Ah, well, it doesn't matter if they could update them and shit. I don't think it matters. It doesn't. It doesn't. The stain remains. The blood stained floors and shit are everywhere. Fucking. Yeah. Well. Excellentness. Fucking. Just remember, join a religion, become the Matrix, become Jesus or whatever, and blame yourself for everything, and then stop saying anything, and it will keep happening. But it won't keep happening. But you can listen to someone tell you it won't keep happening. Just like you were listening to it before. I like to walk in circles, don't I? And like a dumb little dog and shit that's been inbred. Parents were fucking in the same family line and shit. Fucking. I shouldn't say that. They're inbred looking because they're Rothschild, not because they're inbred. They need a way into your life. And that's a good propaganda starter to break up families and shit. So I would suspect that a known liar is saying some sort of lie whenever he speaks some sort of words. And so there might be some lies in there where people who are born looking like Einstein are born that way because Einstein looked that way 6,000 years ago. People were born looking like Chris Columbus and King George. It's likely that they didn't have to have sex with their own family members, and they just look that way forever anyways. So I always question that one. That's also part of that hate speech where you can't question what's going on around you. I'm just like, They're inbred. Don't worry about it. They're malfunctioning. Your toaster's malfunctioning because it had sex with another toaster, and now that's just the result of it. Fucking, no. Don't worry about that. Fucking. Don't worry about the chip in your toaster. That has nothing to do with nothing going on. Chips don't do anything. Isn't that weird? You get born in that time where there's talk of where there is chips and there never has been, and then their entire storyline and propaganda is based around chips. And kind of weird. And they say to hide that everyone's always said stuff like that, but no one ever said, "Oh my God, you were born in the time where there's chips," and they're talking about chips. No one ever said that. So yeah, that didn't happen. And they might be making up some hot air there and shit. Fucking yeah. No one's ever teaching you any of this shit. I learned from the first shit was given to me through books and stuff, and even the people giving me the books weren't like talking to me about this stuff. And then the question, they had that little thing where they said dialogue that doesn't make any sense. You don't have to say that. And you're like, there's only 7 of us, so I guess he was holocausted or something. Fucking, I don't know what that meant, but it sounds like one of those. I was holocausted, and that's how I was using too. It was like, I can't believe you guys are doing this to me. There's only 7 of us left. Oh, yeah. So, and then that one time, I mean, man, all those times people were brought to me. I remember that one time I walked home from someone's house because they wouldn't take me home, and their family and them were causing problems. Their family was causing problems, and they were joining in on the side of neutrality, which there's no such thing as neutrality. It's just people didn't do nothing's trying to hide fucking when it's personal and shit. Neutrality doesn't exist like that. That means they've chosen a side and they don't want to tell one of those people what side they're on. Fucking. And so, generally. So I walked home, and then on the walk home, I met one of them. One of the gray skins, black hair and shit. Came to like pick me up, because I was like, see you later, bitch. Fucking, you chose your family over me, so from now on, we're not together anymore, but if we were, from now on, everyone is above you in my life. Fucking. And then, they like picked me up, like fucking, as I was walking home from the house and shit. That was, see, that's happened a lot there and shit. It wasn't really that interesting of a person. It was one of them, and they're not very attractive. So, there was nothing to be had there. Fucking, but it's weird how that showed up as a metal person, but when it shows up, it's like, no. I think it was their people are trying to bait you and claim it's an invisible code, and you got to go worship their race on the other half and shit. And yeah, there's definitely no invisible people on the planet. There's a bunch of visible people causing problems and setting up shit, and they can blame whatever. I don't. It might not be a goat. It might be a computer fucking possessing them, and it might be a computer controlling the entire rest of the time too. But I think you see, you shouldn't even have to have discussions about shit like this. It's so stupid. It's less than toddler ignorance. But when in America, fucking weird ass they definitely aren't being possessed, because many of them are the same person 24 fucking 7 for a century. Fucking, that's definitely not it. Fucking, yeah, but then again, they is real, so they're not robots, and it's not a computer possessing, it's not a computer making them make a decision. It's an invisible goat, right? It's an invisible goat flying through the air. It's a unicorn goat, and it's invisible, and it controls everything on the planet. And so there's no point in even worrying about anything. You're wasting your time caring or worrying or doing anything. Because the invisible goat will take care of it all for you. Fucking, right? They're in control, and they're gonna take care of everything as much as they have been. Fucking. Yeah, well. Nah. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. The definition of common sense is not doing the same thing over and over again. So I wouldn't listen to them telling you about doing what they say over and over and over again. Well, they're telling you not to listen to you. See how they're doing that? They're telling you to keep listening to them, and then they're telling you you're a dumbass if you keep doing everything they say. Fucking, it's like them laughing and shit about what they're up to, and feeling all powerful and unable to do anything. You unable to do anything about it. Fucking, which is something they aren't telling you. Of all the things on the planet they're saying, they're not telling you that, because they're trying to get you to go join the invasion of the Capitol, or the anti-invasion of the Capitol, because there would be no one there except for them, and then it would all look all obvious. If no one living participated in that, there would just be empty events, and there would be no one spreading it. So you become NBC and ABC and CBS, CNN, when you go and repeat what they say to other people. You become YouTubers when you repeat what they say to other. You become, you don't really become Neo, but you become Neo when you repeat what they say, and you become Buddha when you repeat it. You become Timothy Leary when you repeat that and shit. And you go around telling other people to take their drugs and shit, fucking, to fry your mind so you can live a good life. Fucking. And it makes sense. I mean, what else are you really going to do besides that? Right? Whether you take the LSD and before you go outside or not, are people still going to appear and abduct you and shit? Geniuses who can match their colors together. Fucking, who work with the government and fucking type shit. Fucking, if you take your LSD before you do that, you think it's gonna, if you don't take your LSD, you think it's gonna stop it from happening? If you recall back to when you were a child, most of the people were not on LSD. Now, we were on amphetamines some of those years, but there was definitely years where we weren't. So, if you recall back to being a child, it was harder to access your amphetamines and LSD and shit. So, things were already happening back then. And you didn't, no one around you did anything about it. They generally joined in and were the ones doing it. And then they create this whole story. It's an old man in a wheelchair who lives in a palace on top of the mountain somewhere doing it to you. An invisible goat who lives in a palace on top of a mountain no one can climb to somewhere. Fucking. So if you think about that, if you take the drugs or not, your life's gonna go in whatever direction it's gonna go. Made up crackheads are people who are crackheads at birth. Look at Chris Columbus. Do you think he had crack or meth? No, but he was a crackhead. Look at King George. Looks like a crackhead to me. Look at the Pope. Do you think that dude would collapse if he took some drugs? And looks like a crackhead to me. Then again, rich people, yeah. I wouldn't say they don't use drugs because they're out there for a reason, and it's not just for fucking fun times for you. No one's pushing drugs across the continent for you, are they? Fucking, I used to have to do that myself, fucking, for myself, fucking. Doctors aren't selling you drugs for you. They get houses and cars out of it. Fucking, Biden isn't using coke for you and shit. Fucking, obviously, he's the one making that shit illegal, so he can have a monopoly on it. That's standard Mafia 101 shit. Which, where did Mafia come from? Comes from Rome, didn't it? Fucking, that's where you gotta stop off. Yeah, it made me realize, anyways, I'm gonna end this. It made me realize earlier today how that works, how, I'm asking the AI about that, and, they're like, oh, no, the Bible wasn't written in Rome. They must have rewrote the fucking, the other, the 7,000th and 7,001, the two new versions of it weren't written in Rome. They were written in the Middle East and shit by Middle Easterners that Rome occupied. And it made me realize, like, well, if we're going to change the story to that, then it's clear that's the standard scapegoat shit. Like, you would distance yourself from that if you were actually like America. Like, who controls America? It's Americans, isn't it? Well, they're going to say America's history, once it collapses, will be written as Mexicans were using it to invade the planet and nuke everyone and shit. It'll be something like that. It'll be some people who weren't doing it. It'll be like all these people I've never fucking seen around this place and shit. And they'll be like, they're evil. It'll be King George and shit, Fucking, actually, that is what Trump and the Rothschild look like. That's a better, but they'll say, King George is not a Rothschild. He's from UK. You're already there, you know what I'm saying? Rothschild person with the Rothschild religions is in UK, running UK, and so you're already like oh, it's someone else. When in reality, it was probably someone a few clicks to the south, fucking, who had walked up there to greet them. Like they greeted the Native Americans and the Native Australians and the Native Mexicans and natives everyone's fucking. Anyway, so yeah, fucking hoping peace and love and truth, right? Fucking be careful with that love shit though, because you'll get caught up in loving someone who you shouldn't, and someone who you shouldn't too. You'll generally know these things, and someone who doesn't love you, and that might be harder to spot. It should be real easy. It's easy to spot with media, with TV and internet, When people are obsessed with other people more than you, and someone's running around Elvis, 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 they don't like you. They like Elvis. That shit. That's one of the good things about this hero worship and media shit is when someone's going around talking about those people all the time, they're not interested in you. They're interested in those other people. They're just too lazy to do anything to attract that person. So that person's never going to, they feel that person's never going to talk to them, so they're never going to try. Or they've never met them, so they haven't been able to try. Fucking. That's one good thing about the media there, is you can quickly see the ranking. It's kind of disgusting because when I'm at some people's houses, I watch like the person that they love each other like obsessing over someone else, and they fucking definitely don't obsess over the person they love. But it's very useful. It's very useful in that aspect because you can tell right away, fucking, yeah, this motherfucker would throw this person, this motherfucker would set this person on fire and chop their head off if this person fucking talked to him and shit. Fucking. And, yeah. Fucking. Anyways. Yup. So what is it? What it is, fucking. Just like these people came into my life. Why are they coming into my life? Fucking, well, I'm probably paid to. I mean, obviously they're being brought into my life, but, the majority of them, they have children someone needs to raise because they're not going to raise them. And, the person bringing them to me probably fucking needs to go have more children with someone else. So, you can, you're being used. Fucking people have a use for you and shit. And then you can tell they don't like you if they like someone else. Fucking. So, yeah. I imagine that's the same purpose for a lot of these interventions with other people is they've been abandoned in it's Nazi warfare to do shit like that. They tell you that. Like, the Nazis tell you that someone else is doing that, and then the Nazis are like, I got blonde hair, blue eyes. And you're like, okay. You're like, well, I don't like Nazis no matter what you're looking like. They're really fucking, wait a minute. Hold up. You're saying they're the enemies of America. Yeah. Oh. Oh, shit. Oh, shit, bro. Fuck. That's why they're evil, huh? Fucking, who knows? Who cares? That was in a time we weren't alive, and if you're not in that nation, you don't know what's up. And you can see nations are working together and shit, and they're all promoting the same supremacist ideals. So, yeah, you might not want to listen to a stranger on TV if you know not to trust people actually talking to you or beside you and shit. That's pretty stupid right there. You might fall for it for a while, but you think about it for a second. Why would you have trust issues with people you've met and not have questions about people you've never met? You just let everyone in and shit. That goes bad real fast. Fucking, that goes bad real fast. You'll be washing people's feet and letting people wash your feet while you go scrub it, and then you go scrub their toilets. Fucking afterwards. Fucking in no time. Doing that shit. Unless that's your girl in life, and that's fine. I mean, I wouldn't date a person like that. But, fucking, if your woman's letting someone else wash their feet, yeah, well, that's on you to be a cuck. Cocks can be cucks. Fucking, I find it beneficial, but then you're like, oh, yeah, it's cool. They're sharing their wife with everyone, and then, but then I find it disgusting when I get close to it. It's like, yeah, this is actually a really unnerving feeling here. Fucking, I don't know how cool it is. Fucking. Then you find out that they might be doing that to get the woman to bring the man in because they really want the man, and that makes it way, way off the charts there. Fucking. Yeah, it's a long chain of setting shit up. Fucking humans have had thousands of years to refine their activities and shit. And if something's really not wanted, then you would have to create large, intricate systems. Fucking. That's why even if he's an invisible person who don't exist, Jeffrey Epstein has to be the richest person in the world. They can travel everywhere and do everything. Fucking. Because it would take a lot of effort to get to that position and shit. Fucking not just 5 years of working hard and working up the ladder from McDonald's to a fine restaurant to, a construction job to fucking politics to invisible person in a mansion on the fucking top of the mountain type shit. Fucking. Anyways, yeah, this is fucking impossible to deal with. Fucking. Now, if you feel the same all the time and you're changing, the cliches are designed to waste your time in life, apparently. It's just hot air. All this philosophy and cliches. If it's not common sense, which most of it is, fucking, it's just like people like saying cute shit. Fucking, like George Carlin does it and he makes it funny, right? So it's funny. It's comedy. But, other than that, it's basic common sense and you don't really need to fucking hear it and shit. Fucking, and it's just psychic vampirism. And not psychic. It's not psychic when it's your life, because your life isn't psychic. Your life is moving. It's your blood and your flesh. And so if your time isn't a psychic, Wolverine isn't inventing time and everyone else is trapped in a fucking. It's not psychic vampirism when it's time. See, that's another thing where they think they're changing the language around. You always hear psychic vampires and you're like, oh my god, this idiot, fucking Bigfoot idiot, thinks vampires are real, fucking right. But in reality, what it is it's just they're taking your life, which is your blood, and they're rearranging the words there all along a million ways to devalue your life into something. Like a psychic vampire can't exist if you tell someone, well, someone can suck your blood because your life is your blood. Fucking, your time is your blood. Fucking, they can't tell you that though, because it's probably the media telling you about psychic vampires who's wasted. Who else told me about Bigfoot if it wasn't them? I surely wouldn't let anyone else talk to me about shit like that. Fucking. So, it is definitely the people on TV who would be the same people telling me about psychic vampirism. And again, another example of the vampire telling you what a vampire does and shit. Fucking. But it distances, it does that word thing, that euphemism, where it changes what it is. You're wasting my time. Psychic vampirism. And then what is required to learn what psychic vampirism? Wasting your time. So learning about psychic vampirism is psychic vampirism. Because you already know what wasting your time is. It's, now someone's got a book to sell. on psychic vampirism. What the hell is wasting my time? I don't know. Let me go work a job for 2 days so I can buy this person's book and learn all about it. And then I'm going to go work for 2 months, 3, 4 months, so I can afford plane tickets to go see them in person, so I can go to the psychic vampirism conference. Ah, ah. But what was it in the first place? I think it wouldn't sell many books if you just wrote in the first sentence, psychic vampirism is where someone is wasting your time and making you feel like, or making you feel like shit for their own fucking gain. Huh. Can't sell many books. Definitely can only sell one little pamphlet at that point. What's the second book going to be? Reminder. Psychic vampirism is just people wasting your time. And playing with your fucking emotions so they can get a laugh and a chuckle out of it. There you go. That's book 2. What's book 3? Final Notice. Psychic vampirism is just people wasting your time. Imagine going to psychic vampirism self-help conference. So you know most of the shit, the language, it's fucking diluting it because they're the ones doing it usually. People diluting language are the ones doing what they're diluting. That's why you change rape to circumcision, all this shit, less lethal weapons, fucking, etc., etc. That's why you change electroshock therapy to drugging people into a coma. That's why you change chopping off people's arms and legs on the wheel and then beheading them to stabbing an ice pick through their brain. And then stabbing an ice pick through the brain, you change electroshock therapy. It's the same method there. You're changing the words because they're the ones doing this shit. Whereas a normal person is just like, you're wasting my time and shit. Fucking no one's going around like, it's a psychic vampire. Psychic vampire. No one's ever said that. Everyone's just like, you're wasting my time. Much like these videos are a waste because some of this shit, that's common sense. I shouldn't have to tell you that. But when I invent a word and I'm like, habagoopki, and you're like, what does that mean? What does that mean? I'm like, well, I've got these college courses you can pay $100,000 for and come listen to me tell you about it. Or you can buy my book for $65 plus shipping and handling. Or you can tune into my YouTube channel and learn all about it. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe and donate button at the bottom below. Fucking... what is it? Well, you're gonna have to buy my book to find out. What is psychic vampirism? And there's probably, in between that and wasting your time, there's probably some other shit there too. Fucking. And then they create more books around that. That's how you create a new book and shit, right? You can create more books around it. You can create classes related to psychic vampirism, which would be more psychic vampirism, wasting your time in a class, wasting your time working to buy another book. Fucking. It's all so simple, and they're just diluting everything with a bunch of hot air and shit. Fucking. And that ties into how they're getting around to all this shit. Like, setting up people's relationships is an old thing. They were doing that 6,000 years ago. And they continually change the name of it. They force low-class people to raise their fucking children and date each other, or who they choose, not necessarily each other. Fucking... and target them for killing them. And I mean, by the time they were already writing, they were doing this. They were already creating lies and words and stories to tell you that it's something else. Like scapegoat, like even when they invented scapegoating, right? It's obvious. What is scapegoating? Is where you blame someone else for what you do. Well, no. The definition of scapegoating isn't blaming someone else for what you do. It's putting what you do on a go. Putting what, oh no, it's not what you do. It's what the community does. It's putting what the community does on a go so the community can be absolved of all their sins, right? It's no one, not a single person is taking any accountability. I always thought scapegoating was a person blaming an invisible goat or someone else for what they do. Did you know the actual definition? Apparently, I reread it, and this time it says, it's a community and the religio government coming in and putting all the sins of Rome onto a piece of paper and pinning it onto a goat, or tying it around its neck, tying the piece of paper around its neck, and then kicking the goat in the ass and sending it off into the desert. Did you know scapegoating is not the definition of a person blaming other people for what they're doing? I didn't know that. I don't know if they changed that or what, but I always thought it was just a fancy word for blaming other people. So, fucking, who stole that? Fucking, just someone else. But apparently, it's who stole that? And you're like, well, the whole community stole it. So, what are you going to do? We're going to have to be abolished of the community's sins and shit. So, when that was invented, they were already manipulating the words to deflect from personal accountability. It was the definition of how it was a ritual, a black magic ritual from the Bible to blame a goat to blame someone else for what you do. But in reality, the language apparently that it prompted me with the other day is not even about that. It's about blaming the community for what you do and then putting that on the goat. So it's already, the first time it's written, it's already 2 steps into language manipulation. It's already 2 steps into it, and it's the first time they did it. But what it is simply blaming someone else. There's no need for a book about it, but without the book, you can't blame the community and then have the community blame the goat for what you did, right? So it's interesting how the first time it's written, it's already that deep. Fucking, now it's 6,000 years ago they invented that shit. And then, of course, Alex Jones covered the cremation of care and all that. And Alex Jones is like, here, buy the Bible. Fucking, and, my drugs and gold. Fucking, all my useless drugs that will make you bald like me and fat. I think he started taking his drugs. He looks less fat. He looks more built. But that's why he's bald, because he's taking those drugs. So he cleaned up that part of it. He took my advice to take the drugs you're selling. Pay that $20,000 a month for all those drugs. That must be hard to eat all those drugs, man. My stomach's just not that big. Fucking. You're also supposed to eat the gold too. Yeah. eating the silver. They used to do that, right? Oh yeah, wait a minute. He's selling silver. So you might as well eat the gold, too. He's selling the silver, ain't he? Silver nanoparticles. Just don't eat too much or you turn green. Because it doesn't leave your body. Fucking. Probably like most shit you eat. Fucking. Probably like most shit leaves something behind. Fucking. Anyways, so yeah. And then there we go. Maybe though they wrote that definition because they were on to something, right? They totally skipped over defining how to blame someone else for what you do and skipped straight to blaming the community and having the community absolve themselves of whatever they were doing and shit. Fucking interesting though. I wonder if that was updated. I don't really trust shit. Fucking so. I don't know if they're original definite. I always just assume. You assume shit, right? You could assume circumcision is for God, and then you see like, well, God's a pedophile, isn't he? Fucking. Like, if that's for God, he's a pedophile and shit. Fucking. He's a child murderer. Fucking. Oh yeah, wait a minute. They say that too, don't they? Fucking. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Fucking. Well. No need to question it anymore, right? Fucking. No need to question it. Fucking. Well, I'm going to close this because this is stupid. Anyways, the whole scapegoating thing that allows us that network there to exist too, because that's plausible deniability actually, but it's another word. What does that mean? Well, I've got a book to sell you. The DSM manual or the the handbook of law, and that will tell you what plausible deniability is. Well, what is it? I can't afford a book. Well, that's too bad. You're gonna have to get a job so you can buy the book, aren't you? But what it really means is a person doing something who is separating themselves from the action and having a person who's having someone else do something for them. Sorry, I went on too long. It's a person having someone else do something for them. So you can't blame them for it if you don't know that they're involved. So it's simply a person having someone else doing something for them in a way to deflect it. Fucking. Plausible deniability and scapegoating is pretty common around here and shit. Yeah. Fucking. Meanwhile, all these things, it's like you kind of don't need them because you can visually see everything. If you're illiterate and don't understand language, I wonder how smart those people actually are, because they've never been brought down below the level of a toddler. You're born, and then your head's filled with something. And if you're born and you don't understand language, what happens? It's going to be hard to fill the head with trash. But if you're born and then it's just trash being fed to you, plausible deniability and psychic vampirism and shit, and circumcision and etc. Religio government hospitals, etc. Medicine. That's a big thing where they've changed the name drugs to medicine. That way they outlaw drugs so they can get a profit on them and control them and only have them for themselves so only they can feel good. And then they re-legalize them by calling them medicine. And then now you got to pay them $1,000 each time you want some stuff you had to pay $10 for before. And so, I mean, look how many times that has happened. Look at AI and computing. Ooh, all the new computers are AI computers. Wow. So I guess because if I buy one of those, my computer can like what get up and walk around the building and clean for me or something, or what's it gonna do? Uh, uh, what's it do? It's an AI computer. I see that all them computers are AI computers. Ooh, what does that mean? What does that mean? Does that mean my computer is a living being, or what? What does that mean? Means it's a computer with a different name. That's what it means. It means it's new and improved, at best. At best, what it means is there's a piece of software that's free elsewhere on it. So now you gotta pay an extra $1,000 because they put a piece of free software on it, and you gotta buy a new one because it's AI, and those old computers just don't do anything. They're not AI. Except for I use AI all the time on computers that weren't sold as having AI. Yeah, that's a lot of shit going on. Fucking a lot of scams they run. Fucking so many people are involved. Fucking it takes a lot to set up like all my relations. I mean, what do they do? Are they NPC or demons or what? How do they appear out of nowhere escorting each other and fucking shit like that? And fucking robots teleporting down from spaceships, or how does that happen? Fucking well, plausible deniability and fucking excuses the possibility of how it's happening, doesn't allow the discussion of it, so you never get there. Um, yeah, fucking like I could tell Aegisaurus was working with, the Christian Aegisaurus was working with Hebe and the Muslim somehow in the government, but yet they all three would swear they're not working together. Fucking, that's all they do. That's all they got is saying that ain't true. Fucking scapegoating and shit. Fucking, that's all they got because it did the patterns and actions and the required input from each of them is required in many of these steps and shit for it all to work together. And then they use their terror fucking religions and terror governments and terror hospitals. See, why do I have to say those three words? Because this trash is wasting my life and telling me they're three different things and they're not. Each of those trash who's ever fucking spoken to me as if those are different systems is probably part of that system, draining my life like a psychic vampire and shit, fucking to perform their little doggy tricks and shit. And that's all they got going for them, because one-on-one, I mean, many-on-one, I'm still here. And I assure you, if I actually tried, that I could have made sure some of them weren't here. Fucking, they got large gangs that they're all hiding, that they're all not part of, and they're all working with and shit. Their plausible deniability ends when you catch them calling their fucking gangs up and shit to support them. That's where plausible deniability ends, is when your enemy is working with your other enemy and has them on and calls them up to come help That's where plausible deniability ends, when you physically see your enemies working with your enemies. Fucking. Of course, the trash is very large in networks, so we're not having discussions about this shit. Thankfully, some of them are dying and dead. Fucking. But they have, like, what? Fucking. They each have at least 2 kids, so the terror continues. You know, the terrible twos. The terrible toddlers continue and shit. Fucking. Whatever's happening there, we're real close to it. We get dropped all the information all along the way, and again, then that leads to someone like me going out there and helping them invade the capital. Fucking, I mean, they came to me that night to talk to me about it, and it's like, well, I'm on the West Coast, I guess I can't show up, can I? And shit, fucking. Yeah. But I would have. You know, if I was on the East Coast still when that happened, I would have been there for that January 4th event and shit. I didn't know what it was, but I would have been there. Fucking. That's why I was on the West Coast, because I didn't know what it was. And so I was there at those events and shit. Fucking. So I was fucking almost involved in that. Yeah, I think everyone fucking watching me around that. Everyone else, besides this complete random stranger, just slashed my tires with the cops helping them. Fucking, and the people who run the store helping them. Fucking, everyone else who was watching my videos during that time was probably asking the same question. Like, I wonder if Sean's there and shit. Like, yeah, because I would have been there. Fucking. And how did that happen? Well, I get leaked all this information my whole life. And I get caught up in their fucking stories. And, and obviously, anyone who paid attention, I wasn't caught up in stories. I was investigating the stories and shit. So that was the purpose of all that. The majority of it. Fucking, but because I already knew that, right? I already knew not to get caught up in the stories. But at the same time, by being the investigator, I was getting caught up in the story too. So, you know, I didn't care. I could see things happening, so I didn't care. That was the thing, is I wanted to see it myself, not because I had to disseminate the information, but I wanted to know what they were up to, because in my life shit was happening and I wanted to know what that was, right? So I was disseminating information and shit, but I said that several times, you know, like, watch out, fucking be careful of what's going on and what I'm saying and what I'm seeing and what you're seeing being recorded, because it doesn't look that way on the other side of the camera. Fucking, so I was saying that shit. Fucking Alex Jones appeared out of nowhere at that one event. His people showed up in like 30 minutes in my city after I showed up. At most, they would have had a couple hours if after being. But I was like, kind of dropped the location, you know? So it doesn't necessarily mean anything, but wow, they appeared really fast, like they were teleporting across the map or something. But then again, that little event looks set up. There's only like 10 people there. And you can see, like, that looked like a June 4th. It looked like a setup. Actors there and shit. And only a handful of people amongst the actors, fucking. And then just stupid sounding. And then there's no accountability for the people in control of it. They created an entire event around Alex Jones. The Sandy Hook thing was used to cover that up, and you can see they started that like a year in advance. So if that was created just to cover that up, then they were promoting shit for years just to cover up that one event. And then it went on a few years after that too. You know, because he just lost his website, whatever, fucking. And it doesn't add up. Why are they still attacking him if Trump's in there and if it was him and Trump leading it? Part don't add up. And then he's still on Trump's side. And that part didn't add up. I mean, none of that shit added up. Fucking. But I would have been there. Anyway, so. Yeah, that stuff looks just as fake and set up as when I go outside and people grab me and fucking drag me to their car and shit. Well, I'm gonna end this. Get me some foamy coffee. Cold foam. Wow. I wonder if that was purposely put out in place there for me to see at the store, because I was asking what's happening inside my body, and it was foam and shit. Fucking shit like that be happening. Fucking yeah, it's gonna be a cold day in hell when I can forget this shit. Fucking. And convince myself that if I keep doing the same thing, if I keep doing things, the same thing will stop happening. It's definitely going to be a cold day in hell when that happens. And imagine if hell don't exist, then there's never going to be a cold day in hell. That would be a fact. Yeah, fucking. Not too much you could do to make something worse than fucking Earth. So those fairy tales sound kind of weird and fake. Obviously, like, that's the one true thing they're saying, and everything else is a lie, right? Right, that's it. Right. Mm-hmm. Because if I like laid out all this stuff on Earth, that's the perfect torture method. Like, if I chop your head off and chop your arms and legs off, you're gonna die. You know, if I throw you in a lake of fire, you're gonna die. And it's gonna be great. You'll be dead. It'll be really fast. Way less painless than living on Earth for a month. Fucking. But if you create a place like Earth, where you have fucking things setting up your entire life and your relationships and directly forcing you to the smart people you knew are geniuses who can match colors, and that's what you talk to a robot who can match colors for your whole life. That's torture right there. That's hell. Setting someone in front of a TV show on repeat, but the TV show's 10 seconds long, and it's just, you hear the same sentence over and over and over for 80 years. That's hell. If I whip you with spikes and chains, you're gonna die pretty fast, and you won't be making it 80 years and shit. Fucking, if I throw you in a lake of fire, if I throw you in a lava, you're gonna disintegrate real fast, and that's the end of it, son. That's the end of it. I could bandage you up or something if I cut your fingertips off. You know, I could do that. I could do something like You're still gonna die eventually. You know, if I cut your one fingertip off each day, by the end of the year you'll be dead. Fucking, you know, cut the next joint off the next day, and the next joint off the next day. You only got 240 bones I can remove. You know, I could fuck around with your neural pathways, or we could extend it to 2 years and shit. Fucking maybe. Yeah, I could think of ways to do that. But I think the reality is it'd probably get cut short. Fucking. But looking at this Earth thing, it seems like that's the perfect torture chamber and shit, where you set up people's lives and force them to fucking watch Jerry Springer 24 fucking 7. Not even get to see that. Fucking watch the intro to Jerry Springer 24 fucking 7 and shit. I mean, the movies, and there's a reason people are addicted to the movies and shit, is because, uh, in the food, is because that's like some of the greatest shit going on. Is eating food and watching the TV. So that's like what people go to. That drugs, TV, and food, fucking religion, and sports, pretty much, which is mostly people watching sports on TV, so it's just TV. But you could do it yourself. Um, but yeah, fucking, and then reading about all this dumb shit. You know, what is a psychic vampire? I'm so smart, man. I knew what a psychopath is. It's like, I know the definition of a psychopath. It's not just a crazy mass murderer. It could be someone who slowly chops off your fingertips day by day to make you suffer constantly. Wow, really? Could it be? No idea. Oh wow, wow. What's a psychic vampire? Oh, it's just someone wasting your time. Oh, okay. Okay, but you gotta go read the book and find out, though, don't you? You gotta read the book to find out if I'm lying to you. You know? Huh? No, you don't. Because you just hear the word and you can, unless they change it to Latin, like my teamer or my fibber. What's my fibber? Fucking. What's the kneecap? Oh. Oh, it's on the knee. Oh, yeah, but change that to a Latin word, and you got a new book you get to read, and then that's like, that's like ends up being torture, like kidnapped and forced to learn about psychology and shit. But I already know the definitions to this shit, and I already understand. And seeing it makes it worse and shit. Fucking, knowing detailed step by step, like when they inhale, they're thinking this, and when they exhale, they're thinking that. And when they combine those two together, then you get narcissist. It's like, ooh, wow. I literally, like, it was like, you don't have to kidnap someone if you're not going to torture them and shit. So, huh, huh. Seems like a pretty intricate network of torture they're learning. Yeah. You gotta kidnap, you gotta pass laws that force people to learn. You gotta kidnap people to force them to learn dumb shit that they already know. Yeah, I'd say I'd say fairy tale characters fucking couldn't come up with a better way than all this shit happening here. I can come up with a better way. Wait, we could implement that shit. I chop your fingertip off and chain you to the wall, and like, you're gonna be here for eternity. I chop your fingertip off, and then I'm like, and then you're like, no, stop, and I'm like, it's not me, it's the goat over there, and then you're like, damn it, can you tell the goat to stop, please? Please tell the goat to stop. The goat's chained me up to the wall here. And I can't get down. Could you go tell the goat to stop and let me down? Nope, I can't do that. The goat won't let me. Well, give me your other fingertip. Chop. Oh my God, you chopped off my other fingertip. No, I didn't. It was that woman over there. Oh my God, can you please tell that woman over there not to do it again? It really hurts. No, I can't. I don't know her. It's a stranger. She's not going to listen to me. Give me the other finger. Are you going to do that again? It wasn't me. It was the goat and the woman. Now give me the other finger. Chop it off. Oh my God, it hurts. Can you stop? I told you. Could you? Yeah. Who did it this time? Bill. He's over there playing cards. That's my brother's friend. He's playing poker right now. He's busy. Can't tell him to stop. He's got a good hand. I can't tell him to stop right now. Now give me your other finger. Can you tell Bill to stop chopping off my fingertips? Well, it wasn't Bill that time. It was Martha. I gotta tell Martha to stop. That's what this shit is like, man. And that's like an excellent form of torture, isn't it? Oh, wait a minute. They tell you they're doing that too. Isn't that what 1984 is? They start doing that shit, and they're like, "Who's doing it to you? Fucking, who do you love?" And like, "I love Big Brother." And you like hit him with electricity again. He didn't sound sincere. Who do you love? Big Brother. Fucking. And then who does Orwell look like? Well, he looks like that genius dummy. Obviously, he's a genius because he can write a stupid fucking book. It's not like those retards who can't read and write. Fucking, he's a genius. Fucking. And then all they're doing is renaming words, sanctified words and holy words. And they're like, well, doublespeak was just invented yesterday. It's illegal to say fucking sanctified words or holy words are bad because someone you know will torture you or fucking beat you or something like that. If you do say that, fucking, you get America bombing your nation. Fucking, or any of these other nations will bomb you. That's like, they're telling you they're doing that shit. They're telling you someone else is doing it, right? Yeah. Do you see it? Do you see the patterns here? Fucking, they're busy telling you. And I'm saying that pattern is way, way deep. It's 6,000 years of ingraining it in the people's wombs and ingraining it into the creature that comes out of the womb. And then by the time you're 3, you're talking about this shit like it's real and stuff. Psychic vampires. By the time you're 17, you're going around telling people there's vampires and vampires are real. And Like, well, you don't know what that is, you're stupid. You gotta go work and buy the book so you can read it and find it out. Fucking. And then they're the psychic vampire because they're wasting your fucking time. But they're helping you by teaching you about it, right? Teaching you to go get a job and buy the book and learn new double speak, holy sanctified words. Fucking. That's all that shit is. That's why I didn't even watch 1980. Everything on the planet I watched it before, and just like every other movie, I just walk away from it. Fucking. I watched it the other day all the way through, and that's all it is. And I didn't need to fucking watch the movie to know what's happening. All they're doing is renaming it so it drowns the history. There's words for that. They actually, those were legal codified laws created by the religiments um, to to erase language. That's where holy and sanctify come from. But there was actually like government laws where you change words when people don't like it. You invade a nation, and they're like, those people are invading us, and you're like, well, it's illegal to say the word invade now, and we don't invade. We're bringing tithes and offerings. And then everyone's like, oh, they're bringing tithes and offerings. And people are like, oh, that's great. That sounds good. Fucking. And they're like, no, you don't get it. You don't get it. They changed the words. And they're like, oh, no, it sounds good. Fucking. And they're like, yeah, that's the point. It's supposed to sound good, but it's not. Those literally laws. I got that shit stored here, most of the information I was being fucking linked to and shit. And but it's all common sense. See, you don't need to learn that. You don't need to learn that you don't need to learn about doublespeak because you're the problem now because you're using the word doublespeak to cover up the previous words and shit. Just like it's, if Rome changes the word invasion to tithes and offerings, conquest to a cleansing. Um, you're, and I think that might be happening on a large scale because those people are already the people who were doing that shit often, so they're going along with the new term for it. There's no reason to learn 1984. You already learned about holy and sanctity and you already knew lie. You already knew the word liar. You see that you get kidnapped and drugged and taken to a place. You get assaulted, kidnapped, drugged, taken to a place to be forced to learn what the word doublespeak is, which is just a cover for holy and sanctity, sanctifying words, which is just a cover for the word lie. And you already know what a lie is. You already knew that. You didn't need to learn. No, it's a specific lie. It's called doublespeak or holy or sanctity. It's a lie. It doesn't matter what it is. And then they take that classification and then they judge it based upon how they want to and how much they gain or benefit or lose from certain actions and then change that shit around and stuff. And, like, kind of like freedom. They're bringing free domination to the world. And democracy, all those words are just, ooh, government. It's government. That's all it is. It's the religions who created the governments, and the governments who created the religions, and then they try to separate themselves, but they don't. They don't actually they separate the words, and they don't separate themselves, and they just tell you they did. Like Orwell is purported to be warning you that holy and sanctity has been exists and lies exist. And instead, what's happening is they're renaming it, and it's covering up the past. And the government's wrote they did this. Invent new words, cover up shit in the past. They didn't. You just, it's not just seeing it and hearing it and you instantly know it's happening. It's the dumbasses wrote it down that they're doing it. And just like you want to watch it. Well, he's talking about like authors like Orwell talking about rich people taking over. It's like, well, so I guess people who own the book publishing houses and publish books and shit, they're poor or something, right? And then that leads you back to slaves are the richest people on the planet, fucking type shit, fucking. All just links together. And anyways, back to the relationship thing. So lots of these scrubs are working together to do that, and they've been doing that since back then. So their mouths used to fucking run, and they would write it down for some reason that they were doing that, because they had to tell other people to go do it for them and shit. And then eventually it gets ingrained in society so much that only the rich people can do it. And then they're like, oh, now you got freedom of choice. And you're to know and just ignore what's going on. You're actually making choices, but you must accept the people who come into your life. You must be their lovers. You must have sex with them and raise their children, and etc., 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 etc. And, it's evil. Like the scapegoat. Arranged marriages were evil. So we scapegoated. We're like, bad arranged marriages. Now it's just not happening. Now it's not happening unless you're intelligent and you're choosing your own partner and kicking the fucking agenda of marry and have children with the first person you meet. First person sent into your life. And now it doesn't even exist. Now it doesn't even exist, right? It clearly does. It clearly fucking does exist. How it exists, well, pretty sure it's got to do with advanced technology. Super advanced technology on some end. And, which brings the question, are you even dating a living person? If they're setting shit up with super advanced technology, how do you know that that person can't reproduce because they're not a living being? There's a lot of people I've dated who can't reproduce. And then there's obviously non-living beings out here. So, on my end, that looks even more suspicious how everything's set up and then people can't reproduce. And not that I would want to, I mean, I'm not smart enough to fucking, but, I wouldn't want to be like my dad and have to look all sad and guilty when my child asks why you had children with that. Fucking, I'm a little more concerned for myself and my well-being than that. Fucking. But yeah, well, I'm sure we'll get this sorted out. They only started that thousands of years ago, right? And it's only to the point now where everyone says it's not happening. But it clearly is. And double speaking. Oh, the Matrix religion. Ooh, a new religion. I have nothing better to do with my time than investigate the 2345th religion. I'm pretty sure there's more like 25,000 religious books out there. I know, I remember reading that voodoo one. That was interesting, right? It was just a book of chemistry, basically. Wow. Imagine that, getting some actual chemistry from something like that. Fucking might not be classified as religion if there's anything to it. But it sounded kind of like some sick shit that the Pope would make, to be honest. It was like pee on a rag and snap it in front of a woman's face so she can get a whiff. And it's like, well, pretty sure that's what Einstein and the Pope do to women, and anything they can, fucking anything they can, fucking try it. And even if they're not trying to get a woman, and they get to go home and laugh about it, like, I just fucking whip pee all over that person and shit. I get a lifetime of laughter from that one. Yeah, we should really investigate this instead of talking about this stupid shit like it isn't real about some Middle East people who have nothing to do with my fucking life. Never. They only showed up to that one event I went to. Fucking. Instead of talking about that nonsense, instead of talking about that loser Trump, let's talk about the clones of Trump and shit who poisoned me and shit. Let's talk about the other clones of Trump who were in my life before with this arranged relationship type shit. Fucking. Let's talk about how the Trumps are arranging relationships across the planet. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. That's exactly who was writing the fucking book saying they're arranging relationships for slaves. Was the Trumps, the leaders of the nations. The people selling the Bibles. Fucking. That's exactly who it was. Oh, look at that. Isn't that weird? Just happens to be a Trump clone was involved in that shit in my life. Wow. Who could have guessed? It's almost like it's one bloodline doing it all. Fucking. But you can't talk about that because racism didn't exist until 1940. So. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, it was the Ku Klux Klan 20 years before that. So it didn't exist until 1920. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. There was laws about that before fucking in 1840. But that's kind of where it ends. Oh, wait. The English invented some stuff 100 years before that. King George and a Rothschild looking person. Oh, wait. I'd stopped asking questions at that point. But I kept asking in between each of those steps, like, what about this book here that's talking about bloodlines? And saying they're the best on the planet. And they're like, that's not racism. That's not racism. And it's like, oh, it's not. The word races weren't invented yet. Fucking. Oh yeah, that's the final answer. So racism wasn't invented until like 1740, something like that, 1640, 1740, because races weren't invented yet, right? So I guess the world was great and perfect until 1740. Right, except for we have other documentation, but it's not called race or racism. It's called holy and great and for God, for the Lord who is the King. The name of the King, but it ends right there. Whoever owns the media, it ends right there. So I guess racism was aliens came down to the planet in 1640 and invented races and racism. And there was nothing like that ever on the planet before. Never ever. Not at all. Fucking other than the only thing I can think of is it did exist, and the people writing all this stuff and talking about it are the ones who did it, and they control the entire fucking planet. They successfully took over the entire fucking planet and prevented everyone in the planet from speaking of it. That's the only thing I can think of. So technically, we have evidence. Technically, that's evidence right there that the entire fucking planet was taken over around before now. Fucking a long time ago. Fucking when what? Because they would have to be the ones inventing new languages. Because the only reason to invent new words for shit is to cover up the old words that were used for it, bloodlines. So, technically, that's a little bit of evidence that by 1640 they had already conquered everywhere because that became acceptable. Obviously, not everyone would have been linked together, but in the areas where it was shifted over, Orwell had already taken over. So, hey, there we go. We learned something from this, didn't we? Because when the trail ends, when the trail of crumbs ends, that's where you're going to find the person with the bread. Fucking. So, I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's evidence right there. Fucking that would be a pivotal point for when the majority of the world with language had agreed to begin the doublespeak cleansing of the previous word to begin to hide it, because you wouldn't go with it, you wouldn't change it, you would stick with it. The doublespeak is only invented to sanctify child rape, shit like that. It keeping it simple, stupid, is pretty simple there. You don't invent new shit to waste people's time. You stick with what's there if it's already there. The only reason to invent doublespeak is to waste people's time, suck their blood, and so I think we got that. I think we've got a date we can begin to look at when the majority of the world was already conquered and replaced by this previous form of racism that we should probably figure out what this is and what its name is if we don't already know. Could just be bloodline, might be some words in between that. Fucking, but probably not. I think from what I've read, it goes race, bloodline. So, tribe. Oh yeah. The computer's like, but there's no racism. There's tribalism. It's like, there's no racism. There's no racism. Oh man, cool man. Take some acid and smoke a joint, man. I'm so high, man. This tribalism shit's good, man. Fucking. Pretty sure we can go ahead and do that. So, and that lines up with expected. If you've researched this and taken a look at it to when you think some of this shit was the system was fully in place, then yeah, it would have been after the Crusades left Rome, and then after they colonized every other place. So 1640 would be a good date to look around for when all those conquests were invasions. You say conquest, changing the word there. Fucking when all those invasions were complete enough to change the entire vernacular. And I think from all the evidence there, we're not going to go through that shit fucking right now. I think all the evidence there points to that era too. Because you have the middle of the map didn't begin to head north until 2,000 years ago. So it would have to be sometime between then and there for that to fucking happen and shit, right? And obviously it's going to take more than a couple days. And the story is Rome got sacked. But anyways, we're not going to get into that because it's 1640 and we're starting in fucking 2,000 years ago, not 400 years ago. So, yeah. Yeah, you'll notice that's part of the doublespeak too, is changing that. And I think that's a good thing to note there, is when you see the age of the doublespeak occurring, that means a new change. It either means they already own that, it means they already own that place. In order to fucking implement a new language, it means they already own that place. And it signals that either they just took it over or they've been in control and they're just changing the language again in order to drown it out, like Rome and all the religious governments did for forever, for 6,000 years. Fucking, maybe not all, but you know, we're where we're at now on Earth, where you can link every nation together through a bloodline. So, yeah, fucking. But obviously, there would have had to have been precursors to them getting to North America, and they could have just fell in the ocean and drowned, and then woke up and came back to life across the ocean 2,000 years ago. So it would have had to have been some time before that, most likely. Yeah. So that change there in vernacular, when you see that, when you see the double speak taking place, that means the place is taken over either right then, or it's been taken over and they're just refreshing the language to further bury it in history, like they bury people's histories under their buildings and shit on purpose and stuff. Like they get rid of other people's history buildings on purpose. Fucking. So yeah, doublespeak isn't new. People using that word are covering up, are helping cover up the past, which was I didn't need to watch 1984 to know most of 1984 was happening. All I need to do is look, and there's already words for most of that shit too. So one of the only things I learned from watching that is I'd never heard anyone say America and China are probably working together. So they were saying Europe and China were working together. And of course, the book was trying to separate America from Europe. Even though the whole story I'm supposed to believe about America is they're from Europe. But you see, there, you've already found a hole in the story. Language manipulation within the story itself, because it's separating it in the propaganda vernacular they're using. They're separating Europe and America, and they're like, oh my god, it could happen over here is what it's used for. So they purposely didn't include that in it. But in that book, Asia and Europe were working together to control their population. Does anyone ever actually, is there any footnotes in that book saying, watch out, this could happen to you? There isn't, is there? It's just a book of someone telling you what's going on and then saying it's not us, it's someone else.